Um, right, I'm ready. I've done my hair.
Gates closed.
Because I thought the building had fallen down.
I mean, we can't get out.
It's next door.
Jay's Live's like the hotel. You can come in any time you like, but you can never leave.
They're going to have a train. Look at that. Not even a minute into it. All right. You have to let me know if there's any private messages for people waiting backstage, because I'm going full screen. Where we're going, we don't need roads. Come on. Got a tough crowd today. Don't you know what movie that's out of? Oh.
Back to the Future, buddy.
Yeah, you got it. That's it.
I had a mouthful of lunch. I couldn't answer.
Roads? We don't need roads.
Yeah, I just had to come in before. I just made it to get in is without shoveling snow. Got about an inch and a
half here a few times, but it didn't win.
Something we've never experienced out here. Well, I haven't anyway.
You're not missing much, Robbo.
No, I figured that. I've seen a few people doing it, and I thought, nah, bugger that.
I mean, okay, it's kind of fun to go play in, you know, but to live in it, nah. So Jay, I missed last night, kind of. You turned a small little thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't catch it because I was driving. Interesting. Is that just kind of a glue up, or?
That is ice cream sticks glued together. Laid on top of each other. And then I coloured, I glued it up with wood glue, and I coloured the wood glue purple and red. So you'll see bits of purple and bits of red.
How did that turn?
Not too bad, actually, to be honest. It had a couple on the outside flipped out, but you could find them quite easily and glue them back in, like a jigsaw puzzle kind of thing.
Huh. Yeah, that's cool. That's a fun idea.
So that's going to be the very top handle part of the lid.
Alrighty.
Yeah. I just knocked off the this is the ends.
Oh wow.
I just knocked them off. That's the red wood glue, and then that's white chalk paint I was just using to fill in gaps and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd make an interesting coaster.
Yeah.
Sand it down.
Or dare I say it, tombstones?
Yeah. Or
Well
bugs.
packed in there, you know.
What's Robbo doing?
He's He's doing the bases for his lamps.
Ah,
So you don't get bored just looking at me. You see, you got someone else to look at.
Chris is in. Hey, Chris, welcome.
How you going, Chris?
Howdy, Chris.
So here's
Now,
a
Blair,
question. What's half of 9.5?
4 3/4.
Oh. Is there a simpler answer?
it is if you make it metric.
7 5.
Okay.
That's why I like metric. I've got a couple of people that I've invited for tonight that have asked to join to see what we're up to. And one of them is Jeffrey, or Jeff Walters, the president of DAW. He wanted to come see Robo and what Jay do and what we do here at night that getting talked about by others who attend has got back to him.
It's Sid.
You were saying about 10.
Bloody gossip mongers.
Yeah, I noticed that Paul was on last night, and I didn't know who the other gentleman was.
Oh, the Walkie. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm not sure who it was.
Yeah, his name was Walking. Walking.
Sorry, that's me cheating with M&M.
Oh no, is it cheat day again, is that? Do you have a cheat day every day?
No,
Oh geez,
G'day,
Sid,
Chris.
that's a bit small, isn't it? Sorry, Robbo.
Yeah, but I can eat those without being upset.
Oh, it's not right. What about this?
Robbo Chris says hello. So any good club meetings coming up, Dr. Bob?
Well, ours will be. Our president. Said that he'd like to join tonight.
How you going, Sarge?
Howdy, y'all.
Hello, Sarge.
Howdy, Black. And Sid. And
Yeah,
Dr.
How you going,
Bob.
Doc? Darky?
And Dart. And Chris. And
Fuck you, gorgeous animal.
Oh, don't start him now, bloody.
Robbo Darky just called you a sexy Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, hello, you sexy, handsome man, you.
Hello, Robo.
I'm leaving now. See you.
G'day, Sarge. How are you?
It's good.
Are you guys hearing an echo?
Again, Bless.
That looks really impressive because Jay's is not moving and you got the sound of shaving sitting before.
Right.
That must be Jup making the noise.
Robo.
Oh, it's Robo that's working.
Robbo.
Yeah, he's got to turn the lamp faces.
Oh, okay.
Looks like tonight he's doing the top side. He did a bunch of bottoms last night.
Yeah, I wore smooth out last night.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, Dark. You're only showing that because it's true.
That'll do.
Robo, how many lamps are you having to make?
Oh, I'm on the last 20 of 100. But these bases give me the horrors.
Are you sick of it yet?
I am of these particular bases, yeah. The other ones are much simpler. These are difficult. If you don't get the shape right, they look terrible.
I've got to get my cameras set up in the shed.
Yeah.
I had another nice little fail last night.
Why? What'd you do?
A piece of driftwood just didn't hold together. I've been getting a few of them. I'm trying to turn some stuff that I probably shouldn't be trying to turn. And it's just not hanging together. It would look really nice if it did, but it's just not hanging together.
Right. You get timber like that sometimes.
Didn't you buy some cactus juice?
Oh, it's been sitting on the beach in salt water. Hey, what's that, mate?
Didn't you buy some cactus juice? Cactus juice. You could have soaked it in that.
Yeah, you got to get a vacuum chamber first.
I'm getting. He's trying to make up.
And you got to have an oven to bake it in to set it.
Ready? Everyone whistle to the dog.
That's cruel. He's looking everywhere now.
Oh dear.
I do that when my wife rubs my belly.
What, whistle or growl? Or howl?
No,
Look, it
moan with
without,
howl,
it fits without,
moan with pleasure.
Now he just pees all over the place.
it fits without me holding it in.
Good job, Jay.
He stands here and looks so forlorn and like, I want another treat. The tail runs faster than a windshield wiper.
All right,
On
guys.
high.
I got to go back to work, so I'll catch you all later. Take care.
All right,
See ya, Sid.
see you later.
See you, Chris and
Sid.
Mark, and everyone else
See you
in the
later,
chat.
Sid.
See you, Sid.
See you, Sid.
Holy crap, Eva's in. Hi, Eva.
G'day, Eva.
Yes. Come join us.
Howdy, Cat.
How you going, Eva?
With Jay's permission, I'll put her a post in there.
I've already sent her a link when I send everyone else one.
Okay. Fine, be that way.
She's backstage.
Okay. How you going, Eva?
Hello.
How are you?
Can you hear me? Yes, you can.
Yes.
Oh, there you are. Hello,
Hey,
Darky Man. Hello, Monkey Butt, Blair, Robbo, Dr. Rob, Gay, Bailey. Who else is here that I missed?
Sid just
Everybody.
I think you hit it.
But we can't see you.
No, you're not going to see a hamster.
How is your tooth?
G'day, Eva.
It's much, much better, but it's still not better, but best, but it can be better, but it's not painful anymore. Not like what it was.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was, I can assure you, that was no fun. Oh my god, you're so noisy.
That's what happens when you go into somebody's shop.
Guys, I'll be right back.
Okay.
But I just found the link, so I thought I should come and say hi.
Oh, hi.
I've been so swollen, so I'm lisping worse than ever. From eating all the processed and shit. Oh, sorry. So you're making a... Oh yeah, Robo is turning at the same time. He's the noisy one. Okay.
I think he's also the echo, too.
Yeah, I think he was, but he muted himself now.
Yeah, he's doing table lamp bases for a client. He had 100 of them.
Yeah, he did the stem or what you call it way back.
Yep.
700-pound woman.
Was that Ida?
Yeah, that was Ida.
Yes, say hi to Ida.
Cat says hi.
Ah,
Yeah, since we're starting to have fun on Facebook talking about you and the dog, so
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, jealous, but he won't let nobody touch anybody else without him being right there in your face.
is he the one whining in the background, or is it Dr. Rob's
Oh, that's
dog?
Dr. Bob's.
Yeah, Riley.
Mine's passed out somewhere in the house. Huh? Duke?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry for yawning. I'm a bit tired also.
No, Duke.
Duke ain't yours.
No, that's the jealous butt.
Oh, you said mine's passed out in the house.
Oh, yeah, well, mine is passed out in the house. My German horse.
Do you have a German horse?
No, he's German Shepherd and Husky, but he's about the size of a miniature horse.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's only
Yeah,
like 10 months
I'll
old.
get you a treat.
I think my cat is a panther, not a panther, but something else. But he's because it's so big.
Mm,
He's actually bigger than a regular Maine Coon, and he's not a Maine Coon.
yeah.
Dark, are you gonna join too? He's backstage, Jay.
Dark's in the outback.
I don't believe it. Dark, you're gonna join us. Hello, Darky, you're in.
Am
How
I
you going,
in?
Doc?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Awesome, fabulous. You
Carnival
testing?
Ball starts tonight.
Oh, when we were in Steve's live today, it was so many you jokes in there. I almost puked at them at the end.
Yeah, there was a lot of them.
So how are you doing then? Are you? Show me your hand. Oh, where did you cut yourself? On the inside?
I'm trying to.
Ooh, on the inside there.
Oh, that's
Oh, there. Ouch.
This one here, that one right. Let's see if I can get that one right
Yeah.
there. That's a new one.
Oh, are you sure you should be around sharp tools?
You want to see it?
You sharp tool. Oh, you're handling. What are you trying to do there? Oh, you're making something.
yeah,
It's a flower. It's a
or
rose.
something.
Yes.
Oh, are you making it for your loved ones for Valentine?
Yes, I am.
Oh, aren't you a little romantic, Darky?
Well, any guy can give flowers. Not too many men can make them.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah, it looks fabulous. That's
Yeah,
why
there'd
you've been
be
cutting
something
yourself.
It'll be something handed down for generations to remind people of you.
Oh, maybe.
That's coming up really nice, Doc.
Yeah, I'm doing a video on it, but like right now, nobody wants to see me move 10 tons worth of cherry wood.
Can you just show me again, please, Dark? Sorry, I've been. Oh yeah, very nice.
Outstanding.
It's
See, all
really
this,
nice.
all this other wood's got to go.
You're gonna make it as long as the wood?
Yep.
You make a long stem rose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the most expensive ones.
Hardest part right now, I'm trying to wrap my mind around is getting up underneath this leaf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
That's gonna. This camera's
got-
not.
You're almost
cooperating
gonna
yet.
have like a mini hook knife or something.
Well, I got all kinds of knives. I'll probably have to get in there with one of these little buggers, these little tiny ones.
Ooh, that was a nice one. Really nice. Mine, I'm ordered. The one I ordered that come tomorrow are tiny ones.
Yeah,
think-
you got to get in there and do that little detail work. You got to have little tools.
Yeah, but these
You
are
gotta have
for
little
just
hands, too.
carving by hand, for wood carving by hand. That's what they are for.
Actually, I got some that these ones here. Well, these ones right here were cheap as hell. I think I paid $1 for these.
That's
And all-
the kind of tools I'm gonna get.
Yeah, they're just cheap little crafting.
Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, crafting tools. And when I bought them, they said they were for clay modeling. And I bought them just because they were cheap and I wanted to try them. And they're my favorites. I use them all the time.
Oh, maybe you were lucky with the steel in them, so it's a good steel.
Yeah, I got these new ones too here. This is the one that cut me.
Ooh, the little devil.
Yeah, what's funny about that is I've been carving for a little over 4 years, almost 5 years now, and that's the first time I've ever cut myself. Well, I've gotten little cuts, but I mean really cut myself.
I'm
Yeah, yeah.
surprised you don't have a pair of carver's gloves.
Yeah, I almost bought one before I cut myself too, and I thought, nah, I don't need one of those.
I'm actually starting to look into those if I actually need to get one of them.
Well, I tell you what, Kat, if you're just starting out carving, I would.
I'm gonna do flat work first of all. So it's not the same. Well, yeah, it's a bit of same, but not the same as when you freelance it like you do there.
I've done flat carving before,
You
and
do it like the Irish knots and stuff like that, kind of like.
yeah, little chip art.
Looking good, Jay.
Yeah, it does. Do you get 2 pots for one in that case, Jay?
No, it's a cookie jar, Eva.
Oh, a cookie jar.
Yeah.
You got your toothpicks glued together yet?
Who?
Jay,
No. What toothpicks?
the ones for the handle.
No, they're ice cream sticks.
Is it cold in Australia today?
Yeah, I seen that. I was just being fool.
Yeah.
Oh, that
See
was a
that?
bit interesting.
See
You
that,
glued
Eva?
together a bunch.
Yeah.
Did you use epoxy?
No, just wood glue.
He didn't use
You're-
epoxy or resin.
Oh, that's just dark being shitted.
I'm always
And then
picking on Jay about epoxy.
Oh, hang on, Dark. Here, look. I've got something for you today.
That's a
Oh, you sexy devil!
Then you need to carve those with some carbide tips.
Yeah, I got one. I'm lucky. That's what he was waiting for.
Right on cue.
Poke the bear, poke the bear.
Oh, Robo, you wanted a cookie?
No.
I think Robo has a sweet tooth.
You'd all be disappointed if I didn't react,
And
Oh, I
wouldn't
know.
you?
Yeah,
Amen.
that's the only reason why we do it.
You'd all be
You know what?
disappointed if I didn't react.
oh, we
Robo,
will indeed.
Robo, I almost carved a pen, but I couldn't find a carbide carving knife.
Wow. Darky, you're poking with two sticks now.
Doc,
He's poking with the
Doc,
hot
Doc.
iron on that one.
Doc, you
Yes,
would,
love.
Doc, you would be one reason I would come to America to slap you, you know.
Ah, I love you too, Robo. You don't have to talk dirty to me though.
It just
Hey,
gets
you'd
fired.
be surprised. You might want to come there and turn a pen, Dark.
Hey, anytime he wants.
Oh, we've got someone backstage.
I
wants
know.
in,
I,
Paul.
Who else? It's just dark.
Eva,
Yes.
when you get your tools, honey, get yourself a piece of leather and a paint stirring stick.
And a what?
A paint stirring stick for stirring paint,
Yeah.
and a piece of rawhide or an old leather belt or a piece of leather of some
That,
sort.
stop there. Don't use an old piece of leather belt because that's crap leather usually. And it's too rugged and not too nice for your knives. It can actually hurt your knives. I have really, really good leather that I use on I already have like a a leather strap on a piece of
Oh,
wood.
okay, okay.
I'm a leather worker. We need to keep our tools sharp, you know?
Yeah,
Hey,
definitely.
just let me interrupt a minute. Paul Hannaby's backstage, Jay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were reading something out of the chat.
No, he texted me. But
Yeah,
I sent him a link.
right. I got you.
Also, Mike Waddell said he might join us tonight from England.
Oh, it's a big meeting here. It starts to be like a group meeting and nobody
Yeah,
in the chat. Everybody's in.
yeah, right. Just quiet for a minute. Jay, did you hear what Dr. Bob said?
No.
There's somebody backstage.
Paul Hannaby's in the back.
Now, if it gets to be
Hey,
too
going,
many,
Paul.
Oh yeah, how you doing?
That's
Howdy,
great,
Paul.
baby.
if it gets to be too many people in here, and you want somebody new in, just let me know. I'll jump out and go back out and chat. I don't mind.
No, but we like you here, Dark. Now you stay.
G'day, Paul.
I like
Hiya,
your
how you doing?
face.
Oh my!
Hi, Paul.
Hiya.
Sorry I'm not showing myself, but I have no teeth in and I can't put them in because I just been to the dentist.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Paul. I don't have any teeth either, but I don't give a damn.
Oh, but I look like a vampire if I'm. Every time I laugh, I look like a vampire. So no, thank you.
Oh, we
Or
love
cat.
you, Eva.
Yeah.
We don't care what you look like, honey.
Yeah, you don't, but other people come and look.
Oh, that's true. I guess. Yeah. Whatever makes you comfortable, darling.
Yeah, I do like this. Maybe I should put up a photo from when I was young and beautiful.
You're still beautiful. Don't let nobody tell you you're not.
Let's skip that.
Hey, Eva,
Yep.
why don't you introduce yourself? Paul, he's fairly new to the group, and he's a wood turner, though, but he has other skills.
Well, welcome first and Paul, and I'm the cat and the fish, and I'm a leather worker by trade or saddler, as we call it.
Yep.
Not automatically means that I work with horse gear, but with leather.
Yep.
See, I didn't know that, Kat. I didn't know you worked with
That's good.
leather, hon.
You didn't know that? Have you missed that?
I miss everything.
You want to tell them where you're from?
I'm from Sweden, so that's why it sounds so funny. And most of all, type so funny in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
I can't spell.
She has great chocolate there, though.
In Sweden?
Yeah, Swedish chocolate.
No, you're confusing it with Switzerland.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, you are.
What, does your chocolate there suck or something?
Of course not. But first of all, it's Belgium chocolate is by far more well known. So Ruben is the guy with the chocolate, and Swiss chocolate are more famous than Swedish. I can assure you.
And I'm just a dumb American, so.
Yeah, and you mix Switzerland with Sweden quite a lot. So, actually, to put the more embarrassing to you about Americans, some actually think that they're polar bears running around in the street in Stockholm. So,
I'm not one of them.
yeah, of course you're not. You're dark.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it like that, and I don't mean it like Blair would be that stupid either. But yeah, well, or monkey butt. And Paul, are you American too?
No, I'm in the UK.
You in the UK, yeah. You know we don't have polar bears here.
Seen one in that picture you sent me the other day. What are you talking about?
Are you talking monkey?
Are you joking, Kat, or did somebody really tell you that there was polar bears there?
Yeah, that was very common back in 20 years ago or something like that. Very common. Do you have polar bears there?
Huh.
No.
Well, I didn't know. Shoot.
But actually, northern Norway, up on Svalbard, they have polar bears, but that's an island in the very, very far north, up in the sea area there. They have polar bears.
I thought they were all just like in like the Arctic and stuff like that.
Well, we do have the Arctic Circle or the Polar Circle in Sweden, in the northern part. So
See,
That's the standard of American education.
but it's quite all right because I don't know everything about your states either, so it's okay.
Kat, I'm geologically challenged. I I don't know where nothing is, so
It's quite all right. It's in your on the other side of the pond, as we say. It's different, and yeah, I don't know everything over here either. So I live in a Swedish bubble.
I live in America, land of the frickin' snowflakes.
Snowflakes and Karens.
Oh God, don't get me started. You know, it really burns my ass because, excuse my language, it really burns my butt because there are a lot of really, really super intelligent people here in America. And then there's, some average people too that you just have common sense. But this new couple of generations, man, just blows my mind how dumb they are. It just literally blows my mind.
Yeah, well, there's stupid people everywhere in the world. That's just a fact.
Yeah, but
all right, I'm just going to jump into this feet first. So, my point on what's happening here in America, and I don't know if it's around the world or whatever. I think that people are just getting extremely lazy. And being that they are lazy, they don't want to think for themselves. They don't want to research. They don't want to really understand certain things. And so they'll just be a sheep. And, if...
I'm going to interrupt you a little bit because Robo is backstage, and then I'm going to shut up again.
Nope, thanks.
I guess my mic's not working.
No, you weren't. We hear you.
As I said it 3 times.
Yeah, I think you might be a bit...
I know, I even called his name, but I guess there was just too much other chatter. I didn't pull a Robo and said, "Shut up, I got something to say."
How you going, Jeff?
We need to shut up now because Bailey was into something and he planned to say it. So shut up now so he can talk.
Well, I'd like to...
Hello, everybody.
G'day, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
And g'day, Paul. Sorry, my internet completely dropped out for a while there.
That happens to me sometimes too.
Yeah, Jeff is the president of our wood turning club, the Detroit area wood turners, and then, of course, he knows he's no Jay, and then Robo's a member of the club now. He joined. Yep. He's probably the most distant member.
Yeah, he always has to get up at 3, 4 in the morning to see us.
Hey, Bob. Look, I might be not intelligent, but I'm not that distant, mate. I tell you, I'm with it most of
the time. Robbo, I think this is the first time we talked where it was normal time your way.
Yes, it suits me fine. Thank you.
How's everybody doing?
Very well, thank you. And Paul just reminded me of something that I really, really need to do, and that's get a cup of tea.
That's really nice.
Hey,
Now
Jeff.
it's coffee time.
Jeff, this is Blair. Hi, how are you?
Okay, how you doing?
Good. Hey, I'd like to be put on your mailing list for when you guys have your meetings.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. There's two different ways we can do that. We actually have a membership now for people not in the Detroit area, and Robbo has just become one of our first international members. $30 a year, and you get to come to all of our pro demos and stuff too.
Hello, Effie.
And you just get to that at
Hi,
Detroit,
Effie.
DetroitAreaWoodturners.com.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
We allow guests up to 2 times. Then after that, it's kind of expected to join. Then
Makes sense.
so we'd love to have you as a member. It's kind of exciting being worldwide now.
Well, I've actually been on one of your lives once, but then I just kind of fell out of. I didn't know when you guys were doing them, so.
Oh, our meetings are generally are pretty much always the third Sunday of the month.
Okay.
We open the doors at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, and the meeting starts at 1:30.
Okay.
And the workshops?
The workshops are generally the following Saturday, and those are for members only.
Okay.
Our next workshop is going to be a pro workshop. We're going to have a demo by Alan Stratton.
Oh, Alan's part of my club.
Yeah, Alan's a great guy.
Matter of fact, Alan taught me how to do my first spear.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. Talk about, talking this far over my head. That guy knows his business.
Oh, and he makes it look so easy.
Oh, he does.
And he does when he does spheres, he does the math and everything, which just blows me away. I just turn it until it looks like a circle.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had to learn enough math again just to do segmenting, and and that was one of the things I hated in high school was geometry. I wanted nothing to do with it, and here I am, 45 years later, learning high school geometry.
Robo's the same way when he turns pens.
Really?
You're lucky he's not on.
It's just as well. It's just as well dark that you can't see my face.
I love you, buddy.
Doc got you that time and not me.
Poke that bear.
If I didn't love Robo, I wouldn't pick at him.
Well, the others, Paul, you want to introduce yourself? Because we've got the 2 new people here that you haven't met before.
Who are you talking to, Bob?
Paul, you're muted, I think.
Yeah, well spotted. I didn't notice that. I'm based in the UK, been turning just over 20 years, 22 years-ish, I think. I turn all sorts of things, really. I do it as a part-time thing. I've got a full-time job, so I don't do this as a full-time profession, but I do turn commercially, some production turning, some things where I just make what I want and sell at exhibitions and things like that. So quite a mixture of what I turn, I suppose. I do some teaching. I do demonstrations at clubs. Since March last year, I've been doing online demonstrations as well. So I got myself set up with all the camera gear, etc., in the workshop, so I can do it online.
Justin is backstage, Joe.
I think he just popped in.
Yeah, he just popped in.
Yeah, I've already added him. Bravo.
Oh, sorry.
All's well. G'day, world. How we going?
G'day, Justin.
Hi, Joe.
Hi. What's news?
Justin.
Hello, Joe.
Hello,
Sexy,
Justin.
sexy
And
devil.
just while I can get a word in edgeways, Effie, I think that everybody on here is actually married, so you're out of luck again. Unless you go for either, of course.
Oh my. Brown chicken, brown cow.
I was waiting on that one.
Oh, you were, weren't you?
Uh huh.
And that's why we
Eva?
call you Monkey Butt.
Eva, you look good.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that with everything that was said earlier.
Okay. Okay.
Well, the whole
Can't
reason
you
why
laugh?
you didn't want to show your show.
Well, I don't like vampires to be shown. Well, but I'm here. What you crying about?
Well, bad luck, Eva. Effie says she will pass.
Oh, darn. It might be because I'm a woman.
Once you go Swede, you never go back.
That's for sure. Hello, Ida. I could see her.
I can see her too.
Yeah, she's better looking than that bloke.
Oh, I'm trying to fix my screen. I'm getting crazy here. It's so bright. And all of a sudden, it's so hard to find the... Okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah, here in Detroit, we've got a blizzard.
Yes, we do.
How nice.
I was out an hour ago shoveling, and it looks like I haven't even touched it.
Yeah. So I have a doctor's appointment in the morning, first thing, of course. And the last blizzard we had, my wife had an appointment for the doctor's first thing in the morning. So it's my turn. So, then I'll be out with a snowblower.
I'm here just south of Grand Rapids, and I don't know what it's doing out there right this moment, but I checked earlier, and it wasn't snowing out there that bad, just maybe a little bit of a flurry.
Well, it kind of came up from the southwest, so you guys just might have skirted the very northern part of the storm.
Be okay with me? I hate this stuff.
Oh, I don't like snow. I don't like winter at all. I didn't as a kid either.
It was okay when I was a kid and didn't hurt.
Yeah. No, I didn't even like it then. My grandparents raised me, and my grandmother used to throw me into my winter coat and throw me outdoors. And I just didn't want to be out there in the wintertime.
Yeah, well, I guess if you ain't got nothing to do out there, it ain't much fun, but...
Yeah, now it's just work.
If you got a
When
good
I was a
sliding
kid-
hill or something.
When I was a kid, we would get together. All the neighborhood kids would pile in one of the guy's father's pickup truck, and we go to Chandler Park on the east side of Detroit because they had a good sled run that you could take your sleds and hill. And you could slide down the hill, and that was always a lot of fun. And they had a warming shed that the city moved in for the winter.
Yeah.
They'd sell ice cream. So
Rouge Park had
ice cream.
Yeah. Rouge Park had a big toboggan run too.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I remember my grandmother's church taking everybody there one time.
Well, I've never been there, and or nothing. But from my understanding, Detroit's really took a hit. It ain't the city. It ain't the city it used to be.
Well, Detroit has been very depressed for a long time. It started in the '60s, and then there was a lot of corruption, and a mass exodus of people from Detroit. Now, through the efforts of people like Dan Gilbert and the Illiches and stuff, Detroit's made a huge comeback. It is becoming a premier city again. Neighborhoods still need a lot of work. The big problem with the neighborhoods is you got to have the people in the neighborhoods willing to take part in that too, and that's a tough one. But the new mayor now, he's running for his third term, but since he first took office, he has been tearing down the abandoned houses like crazy, thousands of them, and his goal is to have all abandoned houses torn down.
Yeah, I
People don't realize.
What's that?
People don't realize how big Detroit really is.
Yeah.
Is the fact that you can take Manhattan and put inside Detroit and still have half enough room again.
Yeah.
There you go, Dark. You can look now. That's what I made.
The downtown area isn't as big as other big cities. It's the neighborhoods that are huge.
Yeah, I think you showed me that. I think you showed me that before, Kat. It's a bridal, right?
Yeah, it's a bit less bridal.
Nice.
Deep purple, of course.
It's beautiful from what I can see of it.
Yeah.
Just wait a second, Eva, and Jay will put you up on the full screen. I think that's what he's doing
there
now.
You go. Yep.
Oh yeah,
that is very nice. Yeah.
Not.
Just move it back from the camera a little bit, Eva.
And it's all hand stitched, of course. Yeah, I need to do that. It's all hand stitched. And it's not been. This is wrapped. It's 3 times. That one. It goes first, and then 2 loops and beats. So you. It's not so thick here. Though I made it so thin. So there I went somewhere. Now I come back. But it's not. It needs to be cleaned up a bit, and that's. But I personally won't use this type of the horse because it's too little you hurt the horse because it's so little that reach contact, so you need to have a bit more like this. It's enough. You don't have to have as hard as this. This is very hard. And there is my cat's little pad, a hat I made. It's too big. And then it's just a bit of the new screen and yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I need
Here
one
I
like
sit
that.
in my little messy corner.
Infinity.
Yeah, the hat was. You mean the hat?
No, your TV screen, when you put the camera onto it, infinity. The picture just keeps going and going and going.
Yep.
It was the Matrix.
Yeah. We're all part of the Matrix. We're only here as actors.
That's right.
I tell you what, Kat, I've always admired people that can make that kind of stuff. It's really lovely work.
But it's
an art.
It's
an art in itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
Well, it's the same as what you guys do with wood.
Yeah.
Now, Justin, behave yourself. You're on full screen.
Keep your fingers down.
He's counting
he
them
wanted
all.
to
Make
get
sure
paid.
he has some left.
I just don't know if this blank's going to behave itself.
So many camera on the same time.
It's a bit off balance.
It's going to vibrate a lot.
Yeah,
The wood will do what it wants to do.
see,
Hope
I guess
not.
it's how you react to it.
Oh, I like those handles, Justin.
Thanks, mate. Oh, we're dancing.
I didn't.
It looked
Really
like
wasn't
Jay's
dancing
lathe
much
the other
as,
night.
Jay's was.
It's going to
Right,
take a walk around the shop.
Everybody spoke at once, and I didn't hear anything.
Oh my God! So much wooden stuff you have in your shop, yup.
Oh, yeah.
You're saying that it looked like Jay's lathe the other night, bouncing around.
Let's see how this goes.
We're just chatting.
Oh, you think that? I don't think that's going to help.
Oh, we'll see. What's the worst that
A
can
little
happen?
ballast.
The worst that can.
is that it won't help.
Well, the worst that can happen is jump around and hit your toe. Oh, it helped a lot, actually.
Yeah.
or pin you against the wall.
Listen to this, Nat. You're not going to hear it very often, but this time I'm saying it. You were right, and I was wrong.
Sorry, what?
I can say it. Yeah, you were right, and I was wrong. Are you? So now I said it.
Don't make me say it again.
I'm not.
Please note, on the 5th of the 2nd, 2021, at 2:22 p.m., a woman admitted she was wrong.
Australian time. Somewhere in Australia
Noted
time.
and recorded.
This YouTube video has been withdrawn because it violates our policies.
I'm just gonna laugh and keep quiet otherwise.
Well, if you're wrong, you're wrong. You have to admit it. But I always told you that if I'm wrong, I tell you I'm wrong.
Yeah, we know that, Eva.
Look, I'll be honest, I didn't know how it was going to work out. So.
But it was worth a shot, and it did work.
That's right, cost me nothing.
Back pain, maybe.
I had a girlfriend like that once.
That's not a light piece of wood.
Oh, it's gonna be. Oh, you're gonna have it that low? Can you even fit it?
I'll bet you say that to all the girls.
Oh my.
Why is it offset? Why is it off center, Justin?
This cut here is very much like that. So on the faceplate, it's actually centered to the four corners.
Right.
But
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, right. I see now. Right out. Right,
Yeah.
right.
So,
But it's so crazy. It can be centered on the faceplate, but on the tailstock, it's definitely not centered.
yeah, it's what happens when you don't cut the blanks
Yeah,
square onto
okay.
the face. So
Are you
my
turning?
option-
Are you
Huh?
turning the pen, Justin?
I'm gonna make a edit.
That was a good one.
There's a bit of an insect in there too. That should be interesting to see if that comes flying out.
Protein.
Yeah, well, that's Dark's alter ego in there.
All
Hey,
right.
you can use carbide on that. You could just hollow it out to put the graphite in that pen, or the ink in the pen.
Right, I'm going to mute this up, and I'll be riding riding a wild horse for a bit. I think with that.
Oh, I'm interested.
Don't
Face shield.
forget to put your armor on so you're safe. Oh, you have one of those with the battery on.
All right, I'll mute the mic.
See you later.
Can you hear a scream in space?
Well, if you're close enough, yeah. Didn't he say he was going to mute himself?
Yeah, Justin, you haven't muted yourself.
No.
Right.
We still hear
No,
it.
we can still hear you.
We hear the lathe.
That's weird. All right, let's have a look.
Just do us a favour. Do us a favour, Justin. Just turn that off for a minute, please. The light on, mate. You got your back to it, and that always is a worry.
No, it's right there.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, if I step up and just a bit to the left.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. So that's not muted.
No.
Should be. Audio.
There you are.
There you are.
Now say something.
I put him on mute.
Perfect.
Oh, right here. Jay put him on mute.
All right. Well, all we know is we've seen the mute.
Yeah.
But
I forget that Jay's got the power sometimes.
Yeah, now I've got a third-party app here that mutes the mic with the push of a button, but sometimes it forgets which microphone it's supposed to be muting. Yeah, camera. It's
Oh, so you do your show in living stereo?
We can't hear you now. You're muted.
That's better. Good. Right.
no worries. Now I've got 3 cameras running, and a microphone as well. So sometimes the computer thinks that I'm supposed to be muting a camera instead of the actual microphone. So now I'm not muted.
Yeah. Now you can go to space again and talk to the ground control. Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
ground control for Major Tom.
Yeah, one of my favourite David Bowie songs, that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a classic.
Didn't David Bowie pass?
Yes, a couple Christmases ago.
Didn't he get cancer or something like that?
Yeah.
That's sad.
He had a total nervous breakdown when he turned 60. He just couldn't handle the idea of being 60. And then he came back from that and put together and finally recorded his final album. And he actually passed away before the album got released.
Oh, wow.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
matter of fact, it was the same Christmas that Lemmy of Motorhead passed away.
lost a lot of the good ones.
Yep. Seems to be a lot more lately, too. More and more.
Yeah, we lost a lot this last year.
But ain't Ron Wood alive still from Rolling Stone?
Who?
Ron Wood, Rolling Stones?
Oh, yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
And
Oh,
how's
Nick
that
is.
possible? It's amazing.
Keith Richards is preserved forever, so.
That was the one I meant, I think. That's the one. I can't keep them apart, you know.
Yeah. I think he's pickled. He's preserved forever.
Yeah.
Like Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
I work on the same theory that no bugs want to live in my body.
That's a good thing.
The difference between Willie and the other guy is that that the other guy's pickled and Willie's been smoked.
Right.
Well, that's what I'm working on too. I think I'll be smoked.
Oh my.
Well, we know about a thing or two about pickles over here in Sweden.
Pussycat.
We pickle about everything, I think. We pickle herring, we pickle vegetables, we pickle anything.
Oh my.
There used to be a time here in America where we did that, and that kind of started disappearing about the 50s.
We're still doing it.
Yeah, big supermarkets come into play, and people just stop learning the old world ways of doing things.
Yeah, we're gonna be
Here is a revival with doing a lot of your stuff by yourself and have a big yards, you know.
Yeah, since COVID started and people are locked in, there's been a lot more people doing canning and stuff, and you can't get canning jars anywhere.
As a matter of fact, that's what my mother is doing at the moment. My brother lives about 500 kilometres away in Tasmania, which has got a body of water between us. Justin, go the right way.
I was going to say something too.
And she's over there helping my brother and sister-in-law preserve all the fruit they grow on their property.
nice.
Oh, that's nice.
She loves it because she's a country girl at heart and she grew up with all that sort of thing.
Yeah, my wife's the same way. She grew up with all that.
Yeah, 91 years old and she'll outlive me, I think.
My mom used to can, my grandma used to can, my other grandma canned. My grandma Sawyer, she actually had an orchard right in her front yard. an apple orchard.
Nice.
So she
can't
did
eat
a lot
apples.
of pies and canning of apples and making applesauce and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like applesauce. My homemade applesauce is not like I actually peel the apples and take out the stones and stuff like that and cut them up in pieces. I don't push them to a grinder or anything.
The stones. You take the stones out of the apples.
Isn't it called stones? What's it called?
No.
Seeds.
Pips. Pips.
Peeps.
Yeah, pips.
In America, they're seeds.
Well,
I knew what you meant, Kat, but I was just.
I'm Swedish.
And
We
I'm
call
sorry,
them
I'm not
kärnor.
making fun of you.
Yeah, but if I told you kärnor, you wouldn't understand.
Right. I understand that. I understand that you got different ways of saying things. I get
Oh,
it.
you're so understandable, monkey.
Some days I can read between the lines of the rest of your writing.
Yeah,
Some days I'm like lost in the sauce.
I'm teaching a lot of people to read Ivanese, as I call it, my own language.
Yeah. That's all right. I had to learn Cajunese.
Of course you had to.
My wife and I first got together. I had to learn Cajunese.
Well, Cajun style is a very special style. I was not supposed to be up this late. Damn you guys.
Yeah, Robo.
What time is it there?
Oh, what time is it?
in Australia, it's 2:33 in the afternoon. Well, in Victoria.
I would think it's 4. Yeah, 4:30.
Okay.
Half
It's
past monkey's
10:35 here in the Eastern Time Zone.
Still early here. It's only 3:30 a.m.
Well, it's
10:33
very
here.
cold. If I can see it through the curtain.
And where Jay is, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's like below 10 degrees Celsius. So it's very winter here now.
Yes, here too. It's 6 degrees, I think, at the moment.
Yeah. We go by Fahrenheit. We're sitting at 17 degrees right now.
Oh, I could do this. This is big enough. It covers my head with my hat. It's too big, so I can have my headset on and still have my hat on. Only one seeing is Jay, but that's okay.
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
Yeah, Houston, we have a problem.
Oh.
I wanted to see your hat.
Sprung either.
My special winter hat. Well, it serves as a cat cushion at the moment. Oh, I don't know why my fingers are getting so strange.
It's just too off balance. I'm not going to be able to turn this one.
Why not?
I'll have to cut it down a bit.
It's too uneven.
Well, have a look at what it does back here. Once
Yeah, all right.
Ooh.
Go on.
Hey, Justin.
Rightio. All right. Your headstock's loose. Tighten your headstock down.
Oh, everything got loose.
Yeah.
That's got some vibration, man.
There, all fixed. Look.
Yep.
Justin,
Thanks, Mr. Wizard.
Justin, if you want to see some lathe wobbling around a shop, go watch the video of when I started turning this cookie jar. Go check that piece of wood out. Damn, man. Keeps everyone's like, you can't turn it. You can't turn it.
I missed that one. I missed like your last 3 or 4 lives.
That's what
So
I
he
was.
had his lathe rocking.
This
One of-
piece here, it had branches coming out left, right, and centre, and it was only just missing the bed of the lathe by a couple of mils.
Oh, yes, mute yourself. Yuppie, mute yourself.
Justin,
That's all right. I'll do it. It's all good, Justin. Keep going.
thank you.
We can barely hear ourselves. Oh, that's looking really nice inside.
That's what I told my wife on her honeymoon.
Vodka time!
Doc.
Okay.
I suppose Doc hasn't said much crude things today, so he must be busting his chops to say something.
He's been talking all right.
I just been busy, man. I'm trying to get this done, man. I wanted to get a video up sometime this year.
Oh, you have time if you want to do it this year.
Yeah. I'll have this done in a week or so, I think. Check out that bit of carbon rate. Let's see. Right.
Hang on a sec.
You're getting there. Oh, you made a hole.
Yeah, because the leaf is going to come back down and then attach to the stem.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to.
That's like the last piece you have to do, or you will break it when you're making it.
Oh, I got to be careful of it. That's for sure. But
yeah.
But I got a couple thorns I want to put on it, and I got to hollow out this leaf because this leaf ain't. I'm debating on whether I want to bring it down so that it's real close to the stem, and then just take off this piece, like the innards of this piece here, and then have it attached to the stem in here, or have it completely away from the stem, like separated.
But you need to have more leaves attached to that leaves for it to be rose leaves.
Yeah, that ain't happening. There ain't enough wood.
Yeah, I reckon away from the stem, Dark, so that it sits on its own.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
I'll teach you to bloody rag me about pens, man.
Grr.
Darky, you just can't do that. That's like hearing a teddy bear grr. Hey, Mark's in. Hey, Mark, how are you, buddy?
Good day, Mark. How are you?
How you going, Mark?
Yeah, hi.
Oh, hi, Mark. I was looking in the chat for you. There's the panel. I was like, well, I don't see Mark.
Yeah, you're getting there, Justin. Just keep going. But just keep working up that face where you are so that you get rid of that big lump out of it, and that'll decrease the vibration enormously.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, it looks more steady now.
Yeah, if you get rid of that camera, that's good. That one that you're looking into, so as we can see the edge of the piece of the timber, that'll be great.
Yeah, but Jay muted him now. So
that's better. Yeah, good. Rightio. Thanks, Justin.
Yeah, something new, turning on demand. Well, you know, Robo, you could charge extra to your clients for turning on demand. And then they could watch you. And that'd be an extra fee on top of that because it's divulging trade and family secrets.
This lot don't know yet, Bob, that they're getting an invoice in the mail sometime.
I was going to say, Dr. Bob, don't tell him that. I already owe him enough money as it is.
Consultation fees are very high.
Those are the best.
Looks like a piece of blackwood, is it, Justin? Don't know, rightio.
Is Justin in Australia too?
Yes. Yeah, he lives about 80 to 100 kilometres away from where I am.
That ain't too bad, I guess. He could come visit you if he wanted to, huh?
He does.
Oh, nice. Nice. I wish I could come visit you, because I tell you what, it's cold in Michigan.
Yes, it is.
It's a lovely 24 degrees roughly here at the moment, but the humidity is through the roof.
Hey, Dark, you might
Yes, sir.
find you have some pens shoved where you don't want them if you go to see Rob.
That would just prove my point that he does turn them.
Might be 40 foot long though.
Skewer.
Yeah, I think I'll stay here in Michigan then.
I'll tell you what, it looks like blackwood.
No, I don't reckon it's blackwood, eh?
I reckon it is.
Almost
We're
looks
gonna
like
chuck
elm.
blackwood out here with that looking in the market.
Soon know when he starts getting it down into the darker timber.
Kind of looks like elm right now. Well, I don't know if we have elmwood there or not, but
Oh, we get it occasionally, yeah, but it's too close grained, I think, for that.
Yeah, I turn a lot of elm, and it doesn't look like elm.
Elm is really nice.
Oh, it's a gorgeous wood, and it turns wonderfully too.
Good elm.
only elm I ever turned was Chinese elm, and I tell you what, that stuff there, boy, that's some hard wood right there.
You could have said Mark said that.
Don't talk now. Shut up.
Right. Hurry up.
Shut up. Bloody hell. That's what I'm making the cookie jar out of is Chinese elm.
That's tough stuff, ain't it?
That's it.
Right. Permission to speak now?
No, not really.
Okay. Mark the gentleman Turner has just said, Robbo just took an order for a dozen slimline pens. Not happy, lol. So, you can say no, you know, Mark. It's easy.
You know, though, Mark, I mean, seriously, slimlines, you're talking what, 10 minutes a piece? Come on.
I've never even turned a pen kit, so I don't know what's the issue with it.
Mark said if he'd said no, he'd have had the pole dance. So, yeah, I think you probably made the right decision, Mark.
Yeah, pole dancing in a kilt could be a problem.
Yeah.
Only if you do it the Scottish way.
Depends on what bar you're at.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Doc would know.
Well, you kind of got to know. You get in a wrong bar, you might find out that you're in trouble. Some big burly guy come up. You got a pretty mouth, boy.
Just digging your hole deeper, Doc.
I like your biscuits.
And what would the biscuits be then? For a person like me that doesn't know?
Gluteus minimus and gluteus maximus.
Gluteus maximus.
The butt.
Okay, the tushy.
Yep. Your two biggest muscles.
That's right.
Well, sometimes I don't get those things you say, you know, it's just not. That's the worst thing with English, to learn all the says people have, and the words they say that say something but mean something totally different.
Yeah, yeah. I used to have
The
a friend
toad.
from England named Terry Seabrook. He's a well-known magician, and him and I used to talk about that all the time. And he actually had that in his act, talking about coming to America and using some of the English terms and getting in trouble. And
I got a friend in Ireland, and I've known him for years, and I couldn't believe the words he allowed his children to say. And he told me, he's like, it isn't that bad over here, Dart.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not.
no, it's a whole whole different thing between here and there. When 1999 we adopted our son from Romania, a little town called Galața, Romania, and he was just 2 years old at the time, and he was in a playpen, and they put on the TV. There was children's cartoons on, and the children's cartoons was mermaids dancing around with their boobs exposed. And my wife and I just kind of looking at that in shock, and John was just loving it. And they goes, "Oh, that's just regular TV here."
But on the other hand, when you're that small as 2 years old, you don't know what a boob is. You don't know how to relate to it. So
no.
I don't see what harm it can do.
At that age, it's dinner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at my age, it is too. Just saying.
So,
but you
yeah.
don't have the grown-up relations to a boob.
Well, there was just a lot of things that I saw over there too that we would never see here in America. It's like we were going down the street and there was a little drugstore on the right-hand side, and in the front window of the drugstore was one of those cardboard cutouts of a woman. It was a life size, and she was stark naked, head to toe, holding a jar of cold cream in front of her, and it was an ad for this cold cream, and very common.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if all this scariness of nudity and all of that have made your America so it's become such a big thing because it's so forbidden in some ways.
A lot of prudes here in America, hon.
Well, and you got to remember, we came here as a religious group with puritanical beliefs.
I know you got a lot of the religion from Sweden.
Yeah,
I know that because
they
were banned here.
Yep.
Mormons, for example, are Swedish, I believe, and they were banned here, so they moved to America.
Yeah, took over Utah.
Yep, they did. So everybody runs around saying, "Yeah,
yeah."
I have me 15 wives. Yeah.
We have in Minnesota. We have a lot of Swedes also, and so you hear that accent in Minnesota a lot.
Yeah, but don't you have Fargo, the towns Fargo and those there when they say "yeah" all the time?
Yeah, North Dakota. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've always assumed that up in places like the northern part of America that borders Canada, and we have the UP, the Upper Peninsula. You hear that a lot. To us, it was the Canadian language leaking over. That's how we always looked at it.
Yeah, maybe. But to a Swedish person, when you watch like the movie Fargo or stuff like that, it sounds so funny when they say "yeah" all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
But the Swedish they talk over there in America it's the old Swedish, so they use words we don't use anymore. They use a lot over there.
Yeah.
But it's still interesting. I can still understand what they say and stuff like that. So
yeah. Well, my grandfather was German, but he was raised by a Pennsylvania Dutch aunt, and so he spoke a lot of Pennsylvania Dutch English, which is basically when you hear a sentence, they're saying it backwards from how we would say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, come bring to me a bucket of water. They're like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
And
Germans talk backwards to Swedish also. So.
Yeah.
And I think most Dutch people do too.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting how it's, but it's like in American TV, you can't even see a butt crack because then you blur it out.
No.
Yep. That's because
And
they're
that's
prudes.
But you know what? That's going to be changing soon because if you look at a lot of what's on TV now compared to 20 years ago, and you see the ratings and how they're changing them and everything, it's just a matter of time before most of our stuff on TV is going to be R-rated by our standards.
yeah,
Both
but at the same time, when you have the music videos, then everybody dress up like hookers and have almost no clothes
Yeah.
on whatsoever, and
Yep.
that's okay all of a sudden. But it's like half
Yeah.
a porn movie.
Well, that's the thing. When we were in Romania, there was a lot of young women that were dressed up, like you said, they look like hookers. And
Yeah, I don't
what we found
understand
out
that
is
fact, but
they learned all about dressing and speaking English watching American TV shows.
yeah, and they think all American go around and dress like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's not
So
the case.
we must have looked like some yokels coming there or something like that.
But it's interesting with how it changes a bit with time and so. But you need to catch up with that. Some nakedness is not harmful for children even because it's the more you make it forbidden, the crazier it's going to get. Just look at the Catholic priests and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and the big thing with that is that religion still has a very strong hold on this country, and and that was the whole idea of our country is you can come over here and worship as you wanted, but it started out with that stronghold and it's still there, and
but
you know
I
what?
think it starts with the president also because it's always God bless you all the time, and it's kind of forced upon everybody else to God bless you all the time.
That's the thing that confuses everybody because there's supposed to be a separation of church and state, and the government is not supposed to be representing any one particular religion, but they constantly represent Christianity, which is what our country was founded on. So, and I'm not saying that's wrong, but
come on now, it says in the Bible that he will come as an angel of light.
But people can believe what they want as long as you don't shove it up other people's faces. That's what I think.
Exactly. Yep. That's how I feel.
What? I don't like to mix politics with religion because people then get mad at me because of what I think.
Well, it's two subjects you probably shouldn't talk about more than anything else. I refuse to talk politics with anybody, including some of my best friends, because people have such strong opinions, especially over the last 4 years. And so my feeling is, you've got your belief and you got your opinion, and that's fine. I respect you for that. That's what it's all about.
Well, in Australia, everybody agrees on politics that they're all idiots.
Well, and we're getting more and more belief that way here too. I always love right before election time because you have all these survey people calling. And they, and here we have the two-party system. So they ask what party you are, and I goes, I don't know, pick one. Or one of my favorite one is the young lady called me up one time, and she goes, "We'd like to know your opinion." I goes, "Oh dear, you don't want to know my opinion. You really don't." I said, "If you heard my opinion, you'd probably be calling the Secret Service." So,
I don't like the crack he has there. It's scary.
No, it's all right. It's only,
Sometimes
it's only through the Cambion layer, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I gotta
Sometimes
laugh.
they just look scary.
I gotta laugh because the Democrats have been on Trump for the last 4 years about the wall, and the first thing they do when they get in there is build a big fence.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was a Swedish guy that did a big impression when he stormed the Capitolium.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the FBI were asking for him in Sweden apparently too.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
All over the news over here.
It's funny. I was watching that as it was unfolding, and a friend of mine called me up.
That crack, yeah.
Yeah,
and
a friend of mine called me up, and he says, "Why are you watching that?" I goes, "Are you kidding? This is what TV was invented for. It wasn't invented for entertainment. It was invented for information." And it was really quite scary watching that.
Yeah, where it would go.
it's no matter what they tell you on TV, that's not the first time that has happened here.
Of course not.
What's that? The Capitol being stormed?
Yeah, yeah. It's been stormed before, not to that extent. The last big storm was 1812 when the British stormed it and burned it down.
But what's
Yeah,
weird?
sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, people.
Mhm.
Justin, I wouldn't take any more off the top of that because otherwise you're going to reduce the diameter too far. So what I would do is wait on. If Joel just put me up on the screen just for a second.
Where are you?
That's not Robbo.
Oh, he's down.
There he is.
Sweep it up from the base to the top like that so as you keep the most that you can get out of it.
Oh yeah, I gotcha. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. But yeah, because of this space here.
Oh, hang on, Justin. Hang on,
Yeah,
Justin.
Too many people to look through now, Jay.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So because of this space here.
Yeah, no, well, that'll disappear. That'll disappear if you sweep it up from the base. Put your base on now, yeah, and then curve it up like that. And that'll get rid of the flat side as well. Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Yep, cheers. I'm also worried about losing that.
That will probably disappear.
Okay. I might stick something in it, see how deep it is.
I'd say it's only probably half an inch or so.
With 10 mil.
Shit, it was a good guess, wasn't it?
You were right on there, Robbie.
Oh, no, actually half an inch is 12 mil. I was 2 mil out.
2 mil out. Okay. Well, we'll cut you some slack on that.
You're fine.
You could almost think that Robert had been turning before in his life. Wow.
Good night, Mark. Thanks for popping in.
Good night, Mark.
Night.
Yeah, good night, Mark.
See you later, Mark.
Catch you in the morning online.
Oh, for a minute. For all the politics being talked about.
Oh,
That's an
big
interesting
advanced
tool rest. I've
tool.
never seen one like that before.
That one?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I find it handy. It's because of the flat bit on it. It makes it feel nice and solid,
Yeah,
as opposed to something like that,
yeah.
which isn't so great.
But what I liked with it was that it followed around the corner.
Do you know, I've never ever bothered using curved tool rests. I've always only ever used straight ones.
Yeah, I only use this for the shortness of it. It allows me to get it up close to the tailstock like that.
Well, I gave you one that should get in there.
Yeah, and the pole on it's bloody this long.
Yeah, no, didn't I give you a short one as well?
Yeah, this is the one you gave me, which I do appreciate. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
You haven't ground the pins off it yet.
No,
Yeah, well, it's your fault. You're slack.
that's right. Have you seen?
I've got a nice 6-inch tool rest for pens that slides right in like that, nice and tight. And it's got the hardened steel rod on top.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
You'll lose about that much out of the bottom.
Yeah, well, you need to get rid of that cambium layer anyway.
Yeah.
Really, the white.
This bit.
Yeah,
Cambrian layer. Nice.
cambium.
Cambrian.
CAMBIUM.
Okay. I was thinking Cambrian as in fossils.
No,
All right. Back to work.
Ready for takeoff?
Jay, did you get your lid done yet?
Jay took a break, apparently.
Yeah, I'm just taking the tenon off now.
And I know you've got a faceplate ring on that, Justin, but just check your chuck again too.
Yeah, you have to do that as soon as you take the tail off, don't you?
No, not necessarily. It's just sometimes they work a little bit loose, that's all.
You know what bugs me is I've got 6 chucks, and I can't for the life of me remember which way they each turn.
Well, I've got all the same brands, so I don't have to worry about that.
No, I wasn't talking about that, Justin. I was just talking about the chuck itself, just to make sure it's in the thing.
Well, with me, I've collected the chucks over years of turning.
Yeah.
And people that I knew have passed away, and I get it stuff in their wills.
Oh. What's your favorite chuck? Do you have one?
I like the Hurricane.
That's what I got. I've got 120. What is it? 2 100s and a 125, the big 5-pounder.
Yeah, I've got 125. I really like that.
Yeah.
I've got a 100. I need some more jaws for the 125, but I got their super jaws because I've had some pretty good size urns or stuff that I had to turn, and I was told the person that I couldn't do it, and they asked me why, and I explained the problem nicely because they wanted a small, big, heavy, stubby thing that I'd have to turn off the end of my lathe. Next thing I know, I got the chuck and a floor stand for the tool rest. For the power.
Wow.
And
Very
then
nice.
the question was, is there anything else you can turn our bowl?
Now Justin's trying to butter me up by using my tool rest.
You guys are gonna laugh at this, but here about, I don't know, a couple months ago, my sister-in-law got a hold of me, and she's like, I'm thinking about buying you a lathe. I was like, really? And she goes, yeah, because I want you to turn me a table. And then I was like, a table? I was like, I could probably turn the legs for a table, but I don't think I could turn the table itself. And I was like, what? Send me a picture of the table you're talking about, just out of curiosity. And have you ever been at one of those old like barn houses where they had the great big long tables made out of great big pieces of slab?
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what she wanted. She wanted a great big slab table like that, and she didn't understand what a lathe was. So
I would have had her buy me a lathe anyways.
Me too.
Then make her a regular table.
In your case, I would have said, yeah, well, look, there's only one lathe that can do that, and that's called a one-way or a robust or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Powermatic, hon. So,
Well, or a Powermatic. In my case, it would have been a Wadkin, thank you.
Did she realize what it would cost to buy one of those?
No, she didn't. She found out real quick though, because I let her know. I was like, well, for one, there ain't no lathes that you can get that will turn a table like that. No. But for the style of even a small table top that you'd want turned like that, you'd have to have something like a Powermatic or something even bigger. I don't know if they make them bigger, but I'm imagining they do. Other than Robo's custom made job.
What about a
And,
semi
no,
lathe?
no, I've got a Wadkin that can spin. Oh, it can spin 8 feet before I put the bed back, and then it can really go to town.
But yeah, she didn't understand that you couldn't turn a table.
Yeah, the largest diameter I've turned is 8 feet.
I let her know what a Powermatic cost new, and she was like, "Oh my, oh my."
Yeah, changes their mind real fast, doesn't it?
It does.
I find it interesting when I do the craft shows and stuff, and I always get people asking me, "Can you make a cutting board?" I goes, "You want a round cutting board?" And they goes, "Well, why would it be round?" I goes, "Because I turn on the lathe. Everything here is made round. Take a look at it." They go, "Oh, we didn't think about that."
That's an American.
Now, I just had a person the other day contact me, wanting to know if I could make a charcuterie board out of my lathe. And I goes, "Do you know what a charcuterie board is?" They goes, "Yeah." I goes, "It's not round."
Sorry, just to interrupt. Yeah, Justin, you're going well. That's the shape all the way up, but put your base on so you know where to work from. Get your tenon on there first.
I think the cheapest Powermatic is like just under $3,000.
That's that little one, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, little
Yeah.
horse and a half.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, you're lucky if you find a used one for under 2,000.
I've been looking. You're lucky to find one used.
Yeah. One of the guys in our club got one last year in an auction for 2,000. Beautiful one, and he had a Nova DVR XP with the outrigger and everything, and he sold that to me for $700.
Boy, you
Geez,
lucked out.
Ned Kelly's alive and well. Sorry, I better explain that. If you get Ned Kelly was he's a bit of a folklore character in Australia. He was for the English he was a highwayman, and in America he was a stagecoach robber and things like that. So he got hung eventually, and but if you get something for a good price, it means you stole it. So yeah, geez, Ned Kelly is alive and well.
Okay.
Well, I'm lucky. I've the good Lord, and I have to believe in Him. I always have. But I come into my shop one day because I had a jet, like most people have, that with a Reeves drive. I had.
Yeah,
it for
wait
about
a second, Jason.
15 years.
Wait a second, just sorry, Bob. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. That looks like it's outside where you're going to put the. Now you're putting a mortise or a tenon. I'd put a tenon on it.
I would
go
too.
Because if you,
I go with a mortise because he
No.
ain't got much of a bottom there to make a tenon.
yes, you have. You got heaps.
Yeah, if he
problem
makes
with
a tenon, that'll give him more strength than if he does a mortise with that inclusion in it. That could break it open.
That's dead right. So I'd put a tenon on that,
Okay.
and then it doesn't matter if that little bit of inclusion's included in the side. It's just that's another $50 on the price because that's artistic.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, here in America, wood turning is artistic anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that's been our biggest mistake in Australia. It's always been known as a craft.
Everything
Yeah,
I do is
no,
artistic.
I've got a bowl that I turned and put up on my Etsy store. I call it the Texas Longhorn bowl because there was a bark inclusion and it was rotted, so I had to clean it all out, and it was the exact same shape as the symbol for the Texas Longhorns, the football team.
Oh, I hope
And
you got a good price for it.
it's still for sale. I filled the hole up with resin, and it looks real nice, but not a lot of sales going on right now.
No.
No, well, that's true. That's pretty well worldwide. But I remember many years ago, I was approached by the Royal Order of Buffs in Australia, and they wanted a headpiece to go above the chairman's chair. And when I sliced it open and then book leafed it or book matched it, it was the head of a buffalo. I couldn't believe it. And I said, I'm not touching it. And anyway, when the secretary and the president came down and had a look at it, they said, wow, you can't improve on that. And I said, no, I can't. I said, all I can do is sand it, and that's it, and lacquer it, you know?
Yeah.
Was his name Fred Flintstone by any chance?
No.
Royal Order of Buffaloes.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I love about wood. You just don't know what's on the inside till you get there. And
No,
it's
that's right.
It's always amazing.
We have a food store that's called Texas Longhorn here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, restaurants.
Oh. Well, we have Texas Roadhouse here. Those are steak restaurants.
Yeah, this is a steak restaurant.
Okay.
But they're called Texas Longhorn.
Oh, okay.
Longhorn Steakhouse too. Here.
As a matter of fact, that bowl I was just talking about is a piece of elm. It was a wonderful piece to turn.
That tenon should be straight. You're using a Technotool chuck, aren't you? No dovetail on a Technotool chuck. On standard jaws, anyway.
It's really fantastic how it can be so light and so dark at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they call Oreo wood.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's for certain.
It is.
That was crazy when the Oreo cookies come here. Everybody had to do it.
I think that's blackwood.
I've got a feeling you're right.
Acacia melanoxylon.
This has a lip just there.
Yes, that's right, but the jaws behind it are parallel.
Okay.
So don't even put the little lip in it. You just make the tenon parallel, and the idea is that little lip bites into the timber and pulls the timber onto the chuck.
Okay.
People try putting a little lip in the inside of it, and it defeats the purpose of the chuck.
Yeah. I just always thought it had a dovetail, that's all.
No, not on the Technotool standard jaws, the 2-inch jaws. Everybody else does, but not Technotool. Oh, except some of the Chinese ones.
Vic marks don't use a dovetail, do they?
Yes, Vic marks do use a dovetail.
Oh, they do. Okay.
5 degrees to be precise.
Okay.
I think some of your American chucks don't use a dovetail either. They're straight, but a lot of them do use a dovetail.
I just got a little Nova. I know that one does.
Yeah, the Nova's straight.
Well, like Bob says, Bob and I are using Hurricanes, and they've got a dovetail on them.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Hurricanes. We don't get them out here.
Yeah, they're sold out of a company in New Jersey.
Yeah, I've seen photos and demonstrations of them, but
yeah, you probably saw Steve Fagoli doing the videos.
Yeah,
he's the owner of the wood turning store. Good guy.
Yeah, I like him.
But when
you know
I
what his real
buying,
business is during the day?
What's that?
Right now, he's probably going broke. But he has one of the biggest businesses that sells and leases musical instruments to public and private schools.
Really? Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised if it won't be too long from now they do away with that. It's almost like they're gearing up to do homeschooling permanently. And I think that would be a shame.
I think so too. I think it's important to be in school.
Yep.
Well,
just for the social.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If nothing else, it teaches you to keep out of the way of bullies.
Well, we don't have too many of them here. It's not allowed in our schools anymore.
Well, it's not allowed out here either, but
it's not
it still
tolerated.
happens.
It still happens. It's not tolerated like it used to be. It used to be, you stand up for yourself.
Yep.
Well, that's not necessarily good either, because then if you stand up for yourself, then you got in trouble for fighting.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, caught between the devil and the deep blue sea.
Yeah, I got into it big time with my middle school principal one day because I was one of the kids that was always getting beat up by these guys, and I just couldn't take it anymore. The guy came over and started pushing me around, and I grabbed him by the hair and shoved his head into the locker and just kept pounding his head into the locker. I just kind of blacked out, and the principal was going to throw me out of school, and I just unloaded. I just let him know what I thought of him and what I thought of it. And then my grandfather, who raced me, he came up and unloaded on the principal, and they finally agreed to shut up and let me go back to class. And
well, I think a lot of it was double standards.
Yeah.
Because you had these bullies, and they could go around treating people like dirt all day long and not get in trouble for it. And then the ones that would stand up for themselves, they were the ones that got suspended and expelled. And
yeah.
I was in a similar situation. G'day, Blake, not Blake, Mini Maker, Blair. Anyway.
Where you going, Molly?
I was good.
Hello,
thanks,
Marley.
Jay. Marley. I was the shortest kid in high school. I was also the youngest, and I'd nearly perfectly blonde hair, like it was nearly white. So I used to get picked on like nothing on earth, and there was a gang of 5. They destroyed bloody books of mine. They destroyed my bike. They destroyed everything. And reports to the principal or anything never did any bloody good, neither the teachers. And one day I happened to be sent out of class to go and get something, and there was a bloke. The ringleader of the gang was walking down the outside of the building, and our building had little alcoves into the classes. And it was made out of that pebblecrete stuff, like exposed stones in concrete.
Yeah.
And it was perfect timing. I grabbed his right arm just as he swung it, and I swung him into the brick wall. And I got him in a headlock, and I don't know how many times I charged into it, but I gave him concussion. I nearly killed him. And he ended up 3 weeks in hospital. I ended up getting called up to the headmaster's office, naturally, or the principal's office. And he said, look, my dad was called and everything. And anyway, he said, look, I've got no option but to suspend you for 2 weeks. He said, but strictly off the record, he said, good on you. He said, it's about time that bloke had a bloody good hiding from somebody else.
Yeah.
And they never had any more trouble with him when he came back to school. He was meek and mild. The funny part about it was I met him about 15, 20 years later, and we became fairly good friends. He said it was the best thing I ever did. It taught him that there were bigger and more smarter people around than he was.
So you actually knocked some sense into him, huh?
Basically, yeah.
It's funny. One of the guys that used to really give me a hard time in high school, his name was Paul. And after I graduated, I never saw these people again because I never went to high school reunions or anything like that. But 10 years, yeah, 10 years after I graduated, my first wife and I were at a friend's wedding, and her friend happened to be in my class in high school. So it ended up being a lot of people there that I knew. And I was sitting off to the side with my wife having a drink, and all of a sudden I see Paul come over. And
sorry, I've got to interrupt here just a second, Jeff. No, don't do that, Justin, or you're going to lose too much down there. Just keep sweeping up from the bottom and putting the curve into it. Yeah, just keep working that way. Don't take any out of the center of it because you destroy any curve that you're in it. Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
No, that's okay. And so, anyways, he started walking over towards us, and I started sweating and getting short breath and everything like that. You know, it's like it was a big flashback. And he came over and he asked me how I was doing. I says, I'm fine. And I asked him how he was doing. He says, I'm doing okay. I'm working over at the Clark gas station. And I went, oh, okay. And he said, what are you doing? I says, I'm a junior VP for General Motors, which I was at the time. And he went, oh. And I suddenly felt really good.
Yeah,
really
that's right.
And then here's the best part. He says, you got a 20 so I can get some cab fare home? And
yeah,
I said, no, I don't carry money around with me.
that's the same as what this bloke basically ended up as well. I don't like using the term, but a menial occupation rather than making anything of his life, you know?
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. That's a waste of a life.
Yeah.
So, but you know, it's the old saying, karma will get you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when I was in high school, I was a nerd and always, you know, active in anything electronics, had ham radio, tutored in sciences, AV, all that stuff, technical theater. And I used to get picked on until the principal and coach got together and they said, well, we got a problem here. And I ended up being a tutor for some of the kids that I was being picked on in order to help them get through and get the grades so they could stay on the sports teams.
Yeah.
Because they were threatened if I didn't bring the grade up for them. So now I was being guarded and watched by the jock.
Yeah, they don't do that no more. Now they just pass them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't use a red pen to mark their work with. Everybody gets a participation medal, no matter if they're the worst or the best. And
right. Can't hurt feelings.
No.
The snowflake epidemic.
Yeah.
The worst problem I had was that I had, because a couple of girls asked me if I could automate their robot for a Sadie Hawkins Day dance, and it was a wolf. And I thought that would be fun, so I put together a simple circuit, a balanced bridge with a brand new electronic item that was out called a thermistor in a balanced bridge, so as I could sense the difference between, in essence, two thermostats, two heat sensors. And we had a little bridge that the stage crew had built, and this 6-foot wolf out of paper mache that's head would turn, because I motorized it, being a nerd, with an erector set motor. Mm-hmm. And what I had was very simple. You could walk up to it. Now, this is 63. And when you walked up to it and pushed the button, you had to go over the bridge because I had to have a 2x2 at knee height coming up to a little railing on purpose. But you'd push the button on top, and the robot, and it was 2 tape recorders, rim drive in those days. You'd pick one or the other depending upon the heat difference between these 2 sensors. And one of them was at your knee and one was behind the robot. Well, if you pushed the button and you were a girl, because girls wore what? Mini skirts? The whistle, the robot recording would whistle at you and flash its eyes and ask for a date. Or I had like 10 different things it would say. One of the drama kids did the recording.
Very unpolitically correct.
Well, in the 60s, it was perfectly acceptable.
Yeah.
But if you were a boy and you were going to a dance, you wore pants. And of course, that was typical. So if you stood up there and pushed the button and the temperature between where your knee, below the knee was, and the room, it would start another recording and another programmed item that would flash the eyes of the robot and turn its head and say, "Get away, I don't like boys."
Yeah.
No,
Then we had a basketball game. And the
That
basketball game,
wouldn't have done dark, you know. He'd have wanted the women's way.
but the
I
problem was,
I think everybody's beautiful. So,
but what happened to me was there was a basketball team, and the jocks, after playing, decided to hit the dance without changing out of their uniforms. And gym shorts in those days were really short. The captain and head jock pushed the button, and he got whistled at. And they knew that the geek had to make it.
Sorry, Doc. I've got Dr. Bob. I've got to interrupt you here for a minute. Just keep going, Jay. Up there, you'll find that crack will probably disappear.
All right.
You can narrow down the base a little bit more. By the time you get the curve up to there, that flat spot will have been gone, and most of that there would have gone as well. But just continue that curve up from the base.
Yeah. Okay.
But narrow the base down a bit.
And it is definitely blackwood. I can smell it. It's
Yep.
got that crystalline, almost salty taste to it.
Yep.
Is it a real hardwood?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes the edge off pretty quick. There's a lot of silica in it. It
Ah.
also heats the tool up real fast. That's why I'm giving it a rest. It was actually too hot to touch.
Yeah. I was turning a piece of koa not too long ago into a bowl, and it's sitting in the bag drying right now, but it was like that on my tools. I was sharpening about every 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was like sandpaper on it.
You lot don't know what sharpening is when you've got to do it every 17 seconds.
I hope I never learn.
you put your grinder on and just leave it running while you're working, though.
I know that.
Yeah.
We have to. And I have 4 tools exactly the same, so that I can just pick one up and then go and do a batch, you know?
Yeah. And then go over to the grinder and just go swap, 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 and then back to it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Robo, let me ask you a question now. Yeah, you're a fairly experienced wood turner and whatnot. Have you ever used any of the silica cat litter to dry wood?
No. Look, most of my timber is kiln dried that I use. It's supplied by the customers. I do very few bowls or anything like that. So, but I have turned wet stuff as well and let them dry when it was all a fad and all that sort of thing. But most of my 99% of my work is spindle work.
I was just curious because I seen a video with a couple old guys. They were using it, and they were rough turning bowls, just rough turning them, and then letting them dry in silica cat litter.
Yeah.
Now, the silica cat litter is kind of like how when you buy a new pair of shoes, they got them little silica packs in them to absorb moisture.
Exactly the same stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what they were using, and I was just curious on how well it worked.
Well, I've seen a couple videos of people using it as an experiment, and in both cases they said it dried it too fast, so it cracked.
Ah, see, that's what I was wondering.
But when I look at their rough turn bowls, it could have also cracked because they're just a little bit too thick on the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm still, I'll put anchor seal on and throw it up on the shelf for 6 months or so, and I'll check it from time to time with a moisture meter. I have been doing, if I've got a piece of log, I got a bunch of logs out in the backyard, and if I pull one in and the moisture meter's saying it's 25% or less, then I'll turn it down to rough shape and I put it in a food dehydrator. for 15 hours, and that takes it down to about 6% nicely.
Yeah.
And I've only had one bowl crack on me, and that's because it was a little too thick. And it was sugar maple. Sugar maple is a little tricky with drying.
You know, I think the coolest, like dehydrator. Now these people were using it for food, but I think it worked really good for wood. Is they took a box, they made a box out of wood with a lid, and the lid was made out of and theirs was made out of it was a piece of glass from a sliding glass door, and they used that for the top lid, and they cut a hole in one end of it and put a screen on it, and they put a hole in the other end and hooked a computer fan to it, and then they hooked the computer fan to a solar panel, just a small one, and they would put their food in there in the morning, and then throughout the day that solar panel would run that little fan and suck the air through, and it was just basically a big solar dehydrator. But I think that would work great for wood.
Well, I've got some guys around here that use smokers to dry their wood.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just going to interrupt here for a minute. Justin, move your tool rest up a bit so that you're working on the maximum length of it. Otherwise, you may just run off the end of it. That's better. Thank you.
Well, listen, gang, I'm going to have to...
Sorry, wait on, just...
Okay,
just
go ahead.
Just watch out you don't flatten it up too much towards the top, Justin. You just got to, keep that curve flowing up. So you've got to take a bit more out of there up the top rather than down the bottom. Yeah. You're just lengthening the curve out, that's all. Right, sorry, Jeff.
No, I was going to say I'm going to have to sign off here. I just want to drop in and say hi and see how everybody was doing. And I'm going to try to get in here once a week.
Oh, very good.
So it just all depends on my schedule.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
I never should have retired. I'm too damn busy.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
I appreciate you stopping in, Jeff, and you're more than welcome back whenever you get the chance.
Well, thank you very much. And Bob, thank you for inviting me and sending me the link.
Oh, you're welcome.
Bye, Jeff. It was a pleasure meeting you, buddy.
Pleasure meeting you all. You all take care.
See you later,
You too.
Jeff.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Holy wildcat! I thought you ran off on us.
Well, I was off to the ladies' room.
Oh, well, that's more information than I needed, but thank you.
Yeah, but you guys talking so happily, so I didn't want to interrupt you.
See, now that's starting to get into a nice shape now, Justin. If you can keep that sort of shape all the way right to the top, you'll get rid of any flat spots or hopefully any splits out of it.
He forgot to put his space helmet on.
It's well round now. It's well balanced. I'm not terribly worried about anything flying off the lathe at this point.
Yeah, no, I'd whack the speed up 1 or 2 too.
Yeah.
How's the finish on the quarter grain of that?
It's not bad. Look, I'm being pretty hurried with the cuts, and I'm probably not sharpening as often as I should.
No, right. Well, when you get to about the 3rd or 4th last cut,
Yep.
I'll tell you how to get a better finish on it. All right. Because blackwood can be a bit funny.
Yeah. I'm not a fan. I didn't realise it was blackwood when I put it on. I'm not the biggest fan of it, to be truthful.
It looks fantastic when they're done.
Oh yeah, it looks awesome. But
Same with you. I think you is really pretty wood, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only got a chance to turn it once, and it was the most brittle, chippy, cracky.
Yeah, it's fluffy
Fat.
stuff it is.
Fluffy
guys.
wood.
And
Kind of like turning fat wood, almost. Not quite as bad, but what we call fat wood here is it's resin um, impregnated pine wood,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and it gets real hard and brittle.
The biggest problem with blackwood is once you start getting a bit of heat into it, it tends to crack and move around a lot more than most other wood to work with. And it just dulls your tools real fast.
And same with fatwood. It'll dull it and gum it up and get it all sticky. And I don't think blackwood does that, but.
All right.
Night, monkey.
Catch you later, Sarge.
Night, Sarge.
See y'all later.
Right. See you, Sarge. Thanks for coming in.
Right.
Actually, I think it's time for me to go and hit the hay, Sarge. I got my antibiotic now, so I can go sleep now.
Oh, very good.
Good night, Cat.
You have fun now, guys.
Good night, Eva.
Nighty-night.
Sweet girl. Cat's a sweet girl. I like Cat.
Yeah, she's funny.
She's a lot of fun to be around, you know. It's the kind of people you want to surround yourself with. It's just good people that can have a lot of fun and don't take nothing you say serious and don't get all snowflaked out on you.
I do, Doc.
You get all snowflaked out?
Oh, yeah. Bloody, I'm offended every time I come in here when you're on.
Well, alrighty then. I try to be more sensitive to your needs there.
Oh, good. That would be appreciated. I'll tell you what, Doc, if you believe that, mate, I've got a couple of bridges and a rock I'd like to sell you.
Hey, get the right snowflake, a bridge and a rock come in handy.
I reckon that flat spot's just probably about disappeared by now. It must be getting close.
No, we're from different stock. I know that.
It needs to be a hotkey to unmute a microphone. The flat spot's gone. That crack there is still there. The camera's making more visible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the crack right there, it's still there just a little bit.
Yep. Well, I wouldn't worry about that. I wouldn't worry about that crack until you've got it down to the final shape on the outside, and then put some super glue and stuff in it.
Yeah.
But it's going to be very pretty when it's finished.
It's looking good, eh?
Yeah.
Top down.
Sorry, I can't hear you, Justin. There's a drill going or something in the background.
So where it is at the moment, I'll just rotate it. Okay, so there's the finish point there at the back.
Yep.
Or at the front now. So I'm wondering, should I actually maybe just make a lip now so that I've got a visual representation of the final height?
Yep. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just come in from the other way and get a reference point on it.
I'm sorry, was the host making too much noise for you, Robbo?
Yeah, very bloody inconsiderate of him, I thought.
I thought I'd been keeping pretty quiet, to be honest.
No, you've been going well there.
Didn't know you were there, mate.
Yeah, you just
I wouldn't worry about putting the center in, Justin.
You know what,
doesn't need it. It doesn't need it.
I believe you, but it's a habit I don't want to break. If I'm pushing
right here.
stock, I'd rather
I'm just here to provide the internet, right?
And tell me, Justin, is that a Steb live centre? Is it?
No, that's not a drive centre, Robbo. That's a live centre.
That's what I said. A live centre.
As opposed to Mr. Kidd, who has so far changed his story 3 times, desperately trying to be right and prove me wrong somehow. I've just let him go. I don't care enough to try and tell the guy, oh, yeah, I knew that. I'm just saying. Okay, good on you. Have a nice time. Anyway, yes, that's a live centre.
Yeah, I knew that.
I had to lube the bearings on it just the other day, funnily enough. That came up in the chat too.
Yeah, I saw that, and I must admit I have no Steb. Well, I tell a lie. I have one Steb live centre that I thought would have been handy for a particular job I was doing.
Yep.
And believe it or not, I bent it. It was sort of holding something it shouldn't have been, but anyway. But no, it bent right at the end of the taper where it went into the tailstock.
Yes, yeah, it looks like a weak point. Yeah.
So
I mean,
I like my wood fast ones. Like I've got. Oh, well, I did have one that was 40 years old and it was still going. I've never had to replace the bearings in them.
I've got a nice cone with a removable tip, which comes in handy for a lot of things. But I don't know. This just seems to be my go-to at the moment.
Yeah.
I've been looking at them threaded live centers.
Yeah, like the one way and that. Yeah.
Yeah, like for you put a chuck on them and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool for making bowls. You know what I mean?
Oh, I must admit, I've got 2 or 3 of those, and they are. You can put the chuck on them and turn it round the other way.
Yep, I think that would be great for finishing off the I don't know about finishing off the bottom. Well, yeah, you could finish off the bottom fairly well with that, I would imagine.
No, the chuck itself gets in the way then, but it's handy for some things if you want to, because what you can actually do is if you have things between centres, is that you can actually stretch the piece of timber between the headstock and the tailstock if you're working on really, really thin stuff.
Oh yeah, okay, I get what you mean. Yeah, like put it on both ends and then use your tailstock to pull instead of push.
That's it, exactly. Yep.
The other thing nice is that you can flip something around and put it on your vacuum chuck and have it centered.
Yeah, well, that too.
I use that quite a bit for that reason. I got a couple of them.
That's why I always tell people to put a centre mark in there when they're forming their tenon or mortise, to put a centre mark in the middle so that when you go to reverse it to get the base off or fix up the base, you've got a reference point.
Another reason to bring the tailstock up every now and again, just to make sure you're refreshing that centre mark.
True.
Contemplating buying a steady rest.
Sorry, what was that?
I said I'm contemplating buying a steady rest, but I'm not sure if I'll need one or not. I kind of like your idea where you just make one out of a block of wood.
I've used them for years. My big steady rests, they are huge. You actually got to use a block and tackle to lift them in, but they're holding back a ton of timber too. So,
Oh I ain't doing nothing that big. I just got a little mini lathe,
yeah.
But my boy, he this last Christmas bought me a lathe extension for it, and I want to try to see if I can't turn some canes out of it, or walking sticks or whatever you want to call them.
Yep.
And I keep on wondering whether or not I'm going to need a steady rest for the middle of them or not. I imagine I would.
Well, you can, on things like that, you can steady with your hands, but I just find the block of wood the best way of doing it.
Yeah, I'm
I've
going to have to
actually
go
made,
back and look at that video and see how you done that again.
I started making walking sticks myself way back when I was using the Aldi lathe even. And I didn't use a steady rest. I didn't find it necessary for anything that was, say, 3/8 up to an inch in diameter.
Yeah.
You just don't have too much pressure on the tailstock, just enough there to hold it in place. And yet, again, I didn't find the need for it because you're only turning something that ends up being about 800 long. I can't talk in feet when I get into those lengths. Maybe 3 feet, a bit under 3 feet long. Because then you've got that's usually where you put your brass ring, and then you've got the handle after that. So the actual shaft's only 2.5 to 3 feet long in the end. It doesn't tend to whip that much, I found.
I think it'd be 36 inches. That'd be what, 3 foot? 3 foot?
Yeah, 36 inches.
Yeah, it's about right. Hang on.
It's about 900 long.
I'll grab my handy rule, which is exactly a metre. Yeah. So you're talking somewhere between 34 and 36 inches in the end for the shaft.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I've made let's see, 1, 2, 3. I've made 4 canes since I started YouTube. 5 actually, and only one of them wasn't videoed. But yeah, it's different carving them than it is, turning them. I haven't never turned one. Well, I turned one, but at that time I didn't have the extension, so it was I had to turn out a piece as big as I could get on the lathe, and then turn out another piece, and then join them together.
Yep.
Which was different.
Well, that's where you can get those little couplings they use for pool cues, just so you can screw them together.
Right. Well, they got oh, I forget what they call it, like cane kit pen. Oh, it's basically a brass screw. It's threaded on both sides, and that's like got a washer in the middle of them, but it ain't really a washer. It's just a space in the bolt that hasn't been threaded or turned down, like a spacer.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. Those types of things. I've made them. It's a lot of fun, but I've made them for vets occasionally. Haven't had any requests for them in a couple of years. I've got a few of the kits left.
The last cane I did, I turned out the shaft on the lathe, and then for the last bottom part of it, I took one of those canes that had the adjustable bottom.
Yeah.
And then turned the shaft, the wooden shaft part of it down, so that it would just fit inside that, and then epoxied it in and put a bolt through it. That turned out pretty nice. It was a pretty nice looking cane. I didn't like it for myself because it just didn't. I don't know. There's something about it I didn't like, but the neighbor girl liked it and she wanted it, so I gave it to her.
Justin, are you on your final cuts now?
I'm getting really close. Probably, I don't know, I've got a bit here that's still giving me grief. I've got to take that down a little. I don't know if I want to bring it up, have a flat lip, or if I want to bring it up and have it finish
Yeah, well, that looks better when you do that. Right. Now, just in case Jay ends this before you finish, what you do is, at the moment, you've got your flute at 45 when you're cutting, right?
Yep.
Yep, like that. Now, this will sound strange. On your final two cuts, close the flute right down, like that.
Yep.
And make your last two cuts, riding the bevel behind the cut. Because what it's actually doing, if you do that normally, it's actually scraping at the cutting edge. But blackwood likes to be scraped.
Okay.
So if you do that on your final two cuts, just two nice with a very sharp tool, do your last two cuts with the flute completely closed, and you'll find a very big improvement in the quarter grain.
Square carbides make a nice scraper.
I think I'm actually making a point of pride never to own a carbide tool.
They actually don't.
Actually, I can't keep that promise because my hollowing tool has a carbide tip.
No, look, I have no... Carbides have their use. I have no qualms with that. And like I said to Joe yesterday, he had to use a carbide on the inside of his thing, and that was the only thing that you could really use. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's all in good. It's all in humour.
That's right, I know.
I tell you what, I got, like I was, I told you this before. I think I had a piece of, well, I still have it, but a piece of mystery wood. I don't know. I know it came from South America somewhere, and I think they were used for skid rollers. But that wood was so hard, my traditional tools didn't even want to try to cut it. They would, but it was taking forever. But the carbides, they took right into it and made it where I could actually turn the damn thing, you know. As far as scrapers go, carbides are great scrapers. There's just hands down, they're great scrapers. But they don't beat the traditional tools, that's for sure.
No. Gee, Paul, we've sort of been hogging the conversation today. You've sort of been just sitting in the background there.
No worries. I've been listening and watching, so that's fine.
Why is it that the old time turners, they hate carbides so much?
Well,
because they're old.
I think perhaps because some people misuse them or promote them for things where a traditional tool might be better. As Robbo said, they have their uses and they have their place, but I think some people might suggest that they're used when really a traditional tool might be the better bet.
Yeah.
Okay. I've just always been curious about it, you know, without trying to offend anybody. You know, that's a hard question to ask. So,
look, some of the stuff I turn dark is harder than the hobs of hell.
Yeah.
It's got stones and dirt and crap in it. They're old telephone poles or power poles, depending on where you come from. And I will use an easy wood rougher on them because it just rips the edge straight off my traditional type tools. But I think, as Paul says, people they're being misrepresented for jobs that they do. Like you can do a lot of jobs far easier and better and quicker with a traditional tool than you can with a carbide.
well, I think that a lot of it is because it's just, you know, for new turners, for people who are just getting into wood turning, the carbides are just easier to learn. Well, you don't even have to learn really anything to use carbides.
No, I quite agree with you on that, Dark. Like, yeah, anybody can poke a bit of metal into a piece of wood and make something with it, but it depends on how long it takes, how much you have to sand it, and the finish that you get off it. So, yeah, and I'm all for carbides if it gets people into turning, definitely. The funny part about it is that most people that learn with carbides eventually want to learn with traditional tools.
I started out with traditional tools, and I was very curious about carbides, and my buddy Redneck Renegade made me a set, and I used them, and I used them quite a bit actually for a while, and then I found that I liked using the traditional tools better, and slowly moved back to the traditional tools. And now about the only time I use them is if I'm hollowing out something, or if I, like I said, get a piece of wood that's so hard that it's hell to try to turn. Because I don't, I'm guessing that your bigger lathes have more power than mine.
Oh yeah.
So like there's just some things that are just a lot easier to turn on that little mini lathe with carbides than it is with the traditional tools.
No, well, look, carbides really revolutionised hollow forms. There's no doubt about that. In fact, a lot of hollow forms could not be done these days without carbide tools, and without a great deal of trouble anyway. Carbides revolutionised hollow turning or hollow forms, and I have no qualms with that because they do the job. They do the job where you can't get a traditional tool in there anyway.
Right. Yeah, like the I don't know what they call them, the gooseneck hollowers for getting in there, and you know they'll be using a hole that big or something and sticking it in there and then coming around.
That's right. Yep.
The tool is bent like that, you know, so you can hook in there. I need to get one of those myself just because I want one.
Well, yeah. Well, hollow forms in wood turning are a relatively new innovation. In fact, they've only really come into their own in the last 15 years or so, I would say.
Yeah.
Really,
Because up until then, it was all spindle work. Up until about 40 years ago or 50 years ago, then everybody wanted to turn bowls, of course. But then hollow forms came along, and carbides did revolutionise hollow forms. Sorry, Bob, you can go ahead now.
Lyle Jameson, I think, is the person that started the big hollow forms with his torsos. I mean, those are really fantastic, and he's got quite a few in museums. And he wouldn't tell people how he did them because that was kind of a secret thing. But yeah, that's what. The other thing I wanted to say is that when I work with vets, disabled vets, in the sense that they have a prosthesis, I was able to, along with some friends of mine that were machinists, be able to come up with an attachment where the typical hook goes, because you don't get a hand with fingers or anything until the stump and arm has settled, and that takes about 2 years before they can fit you with one. But until then, you still have just the hook that you can open and close. Well, the mechanical movement for that inside, we were able to take and actually modify so as they put a cuff on, take the hook off in essence, but use the same fitting that holds the hook on, and be able to use carbides, a nice post with a carbide, so they could get in there and do any kind of turning, because I just sure didn't want them to get a tool that had an edge on it, because first of all, they couldn't take it off and sharpen it with one hand and a hook. And if they had to try, when they got better, second year of working with it, and that when they came up and actually got a hand, they still wanted the ability to use their adapter that was made for them, so they could put in a bar and screw it in place, you know, with a little Allen screw.
This is
for it.
This is going to sound terrible, and it's not meant the way it's going to come out, but my sense of humour, I'm afraid. Like if I'd had one of those prosthetics with a hook on it, I'd probably put a carbide bit on the end of the hook and use that.
Yep.
I'd make adapters that screwed onto the thing so as I could use it. Like, you know.
Well, that's what we did for teaching them to begin with, to start
Yeah.
it. And that was part of it. And then if they were in a wheelchair, well, we had to come up with a lift, and we ended up at the tech shop, got some people together, and we were able to take a pallet jack that would raise them high enough up in a wheelchair and then fasten a platform to it. And
Yeah,
you roll it to the lathe and pump it up, and they could sit there, but they only had the amount of room that they could work with their chair because the chair is fixed. They can't move up and down, so it had to be short and in front of them. Or with hollowing, they could reach in and do hollowing. But
I actually,
I did a lot of that.
yeah, I actually built and helped a fella build a wheelchair-bound wood turner down in a little place called Morwell, which is down the road from us, and we used the seat off. I don't know if you're familiar with racing eights, the sculls and that they use. The seats actually slide in them for better leverage on the oars, and we adapted the system. We adapted the system from that so that he could actually move along the lathe backwards and forwards.
Interesting. I'd never thought of that. I used a scull when I was in college. That's who the girls liked, but they didn't like people that did it that were nerds. So,
hello, who's DM? Jay?
What?
Who's DM?
That's Eva.
Oh, right. She back again, is she?
I didn't know she wasn't.
No, well, she did. She left for a while there. Yeah, so that's what we did, so as he could get out of his chair, and we built like a restraining thing on the platform for him, and he could slide backwards and forwards along the lathe. And he does. I must admit, he does fantastic work these days. But
well,
no, in that wait on, sorry, in that instance, yes, carbides are probably quite handy because, as I said, if it gets people introduced to turning, I know a one-arm turner that, well, he was a production turner, but he lost his arm in a racing boat accident and actually got thrown out and the prop went over the top of him. And, DM's dark matter, of course, idiot.
Oh, is that? There you go.
Sorry, thanks, Chris. I couldn't place DM for him. Don't know why. But anyway, yeah, and he turns one-handed and he's fantastic. I tell you, it like makes me look an idiot sometimes.
Yeah, I've learned when I do deep hollowing that when I want to use a single tool without any kind of rig to keep it in place, one of the tricks that we used to use for teaching the vets is that the tool would come down and they'd hold it so as the handle, we had to have a longer handle, but the handle went against the arm. And that gave them the balance because as they moved their arm become the tool handle, in essence, and they moved as one together. So that come in handy, and I still use that position when I work on a lathe when I stuck out over something. It's almost as if it was fastened, but what we did is we built this little U-shaped device that would go on the end of a Sorby tool handle that would screw on, and it fit around the arm like this as a harness, so as they actually had more control because they didn't have a wrist that they could move. They only had a hook to begin with.
Well, that's,
for at least 2 years.
That's the same as the Stuart Turner system.
Yes. And when I saw that, I thought, hey, this is being copied, but nothing is new. A lot of people think of the same thing.
How'd the finish come up on that, Justin? Right.
Oh, you got head cam.
Yeah.
Oh no, you didn't have to move it, Justin. I wasn't saying that for that. I was just saying that had a head in it.
Yeah, sorry, no, my bad. I forgot to mute it. No, I'm just checking the tenon was a bit big. So I'm just tidying that up.
Don't worry, we weren't counting the number of chips in your hair.
I was.
More chips in hair. Sorry, Justin. Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right for you young buggers who've got hair.
You've got some somewhere there, right?
Oh yeah, I've got a bit.
I can't talk too much because I've noticed lately I have more forehead than hair.
I think I'm going to make a move. I'll see you next time, guys.
All right, Paul. Thank you for coming in.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Catch you tomorrow.
Maybe.
See you later.
Bye, buddy. It was nice meeting you.
I'll be at the meeting tomorrow.
Everybody have a good one.
Good night, Paul.
Good night.
Now, I've got a question for you, Robbo. You need to unmute yourself, though.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I see the lips moving, but I don't hear anything.
And I like Dark in the background there playing his violin.
Yeah.
Good one.
I'm just dropping.
Is that where all your hair's going dark? You keep putting it in your violin.
I noticed that if I keep the tool sharp, it won't cut. It cuts.
Yeah, that's a very strange phenomenon, that.
Yeah.
All right, now, Joe, what's your question?
Do I just take this off from here and hold my hand in here, or what?
You're going to part it off, are you?
Yeah, I want to, but I don't know how.
I'd probably take it down until it's about an inch thick.
Yep.
And then, yeah, if you feel confident about putting your hand in there, that's fine.
Have my sleeve on.
Yep.
I just thought, no, my luck, 5 lives later, and it'll shoot off in that direction and fall apart or something. You know?
Well, that's always the possibility if you don't support it. That's right. And it's not a tight little space, so you've got plenty of room in there, and it's been polished inside, hasn't it? So it's nice and smooth. Yeah, right.
Yeah. You could always part it down so far and then cut it off with your miter saw.
Get the bloody angles right, you dickhead. See?
Yeah.
Sorry, this camera's bad for washout.
Yeah. Or the other way you can do it is you can just use your wooden thing like you normally do for cleaning up the bottom, take the faceplate off and do it that way.
Yep. Is the rain loud?
Whoa, geez, I can see it over there now in the background. I was wondering why you were wearing a jumper today.
Yeah. That's coming off my little veranda I built over my shed door so I could get out without being drenched. It's 12 degrees here at the moment.
Jeez.
It's nice though, I don't mind it for a change.
No.
If anyone can hear me!
We hear you,
Oh,
boy.
yes.
Got a pretty mouth, boy.
Don't mind me. I'm just stroking my wood,
Oh
Yeah,
my.
that's all
I
right.
was just thinking that, but didn't want to say it.
I'm caressing it.
I like the way you stroke your boy, boy.
And what I'm doing is I'm closing my eyes and letting my fingers tell me if there's any ridges.
Yep. Oh, your fingers are more accurate than your eyes are. Oh, in most cases, anyway.
If it feels natural, like a natural.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Justin. I can't hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, the host is making a noise.
Yeah, it's very inconsiderate, I know.
So I might sand it down to about the 180, 240, and then I'll have to fill that gap.
Yeah.
Just
Well, I never sand past 240 anyway until after I reversed it round.
Yeah, fair enough. I was going to finish it before I flipped it.
Yeah, I never do because half the time they run out about half a millimetre and end up in trouble. So
Fair enough.
You know the way you breathe like that, Robo, it kind of turns me on.
what was that, Doc?
I said the way you're breathing like that kind of turns me on.
Sorry, I'll move the muffler down over the top of the microphone again there.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. I was just trying to be a smart ass, I guess.
I know.
Doesn't take much to
You
turn
don't
you on. You're laughing because it's true.
Well, in my family, we joked a lot like that. We were pretty, what you might want to call dirty birds when it comes to joking with each other. And it's got me into a lot of trouble over the years.
You forget what company you're in.
Yeah. One time I got in trouble here on YouTube. Well, I didn't really get in trouble, but I offended a poor girl. Oh my. Because I made the mistake of telling her, I like the way you type.
Jesus, what's offended? Yeah, some people are a bit precious, aren't they?
They are. Especially nowadays.
Oh yeah.
But I find that if you make fun of them, they're not so precious after the next time you talk to them. You know what I mean?
Well, that's right.
I end up having to block her, though. I mean, she just went off on a nut. Jeez, I was just trying to have some fun with you, girl. It's all right. It ain't like I want to come and get you or nothing. You're like 4 or 5 states away from me, and for one, and two, you're just not all that.
Well, be careful doing that, Jay. They can pull out the bottom. And then you end up with a big hole in the base of it.
I think we're going to see a lot more of that lately, or in the future, with the snowflakes. Robo, now that we have Democrats back in office. I hope not, but that's when it all started, was when in the Obama administration. Everybody became so precious.
If we can convince America that the rest of the world doesn't abide by their laws, we should be right.
Well, could you hurry on that? You know, it's sad because America never used to be like that. You know?
I'm thinking of like YouTube and whatnot. You know, if they're trying to legislate how these things get used, Facebook, they're supposed to be global, but they're owned by Americans. So where do they draw the line between who makes the laws that govern their use?
Well, the bad part about it is that most of the media, including YouTube, is owned by Democrats. And I'm not saying that Democratic people are all bad, but a lot of them are just plain straight out snowflakes. You know,
It's amazing. Sorry, Doc. It's amazing the difference in the colour between the base and the top, and considering it came off the same bloody log.
Yeah, and here, and there.
Oh no, I think you're talking about my piece, Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lip and the body of it.
Yeah.
It's very nice, Jay. I like it.
Yeah. I'm just astounded at the difference in the colours between the bottom and the top.
Yeah, you would think there were 2 different pieces of wood.
You would, if I hadn't seen it being part off there, unless Jay swapped it out the back or something, you know.
No, I think it was the same bit. No. All right, gang, I've got to shoot through. I just got a call, so I'll catch us later, yeah?
All right, see you later, Justin. That bowl's starting to look pretty good, by the way.
Oh, he must have gone already.
Yeah.
His bowl did look nice, though.
Yeah.
Well, it does look nice. I said
So,
it in past tense.
So that's it's. I polished it with that. What's that wax called again?
Gillies.
No, yeah, I can't pronounce the name. All right.
Carnauba.
That's the one. You got it, Dr. Bob. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's the Gillies. Just call it Gillies wax.
All right, I like that. That sounds good.
And even Chris from Barley's Woodward says that's really nice, Joe. And,
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, and has come up well.
There's the lid.
Yeah.
Carnauba wax is nice. I like Carnauba wax.
Yeah.
The only thing I've thrashed out is this bit here because I haven't glued the top bit in.
Oh, that's all right. You can do that afterwards.
Got I've slowly over the last couple of hours just been putting super glue in there.
Oh,
it's the gel stuff, so it's a bit thicker.
Yep.
I did a couple of layers and I've blocked up most of the holes, but once I've filled all the holes in, then I'm going to give it a layer of resin and then dunk a bit of resin down in there and then drop that down into it.
Yeah. At first I thought that lid might have been a bit too big for it, but the knob at least, but no, it looks all right.
No, it's not too bad. Maybe could go down a bit deeper in there, but I'll just cut this off a little bit because I don't want to go too deep in there and make a... is there such a thing as a funnel lid?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think
And
about
then-
the? What did you think about the gel, Jay? Because I didn't care for it myself. The super glue gel.
Yeah, I don't. This stuff's not too bad. They make another gel that is a little more runnier than this, and that's the one I'd prefer. But they never had it, so I had to buy this one today. But it's okay. I've always been a fan of Gorilla Glue. I've actually never had a problem with any of their products. I know Rob had.
I like Gorilla Glue too. The only thing I don't care for is the original Gorilla Glue. How it foams.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's polyurethane glue.
Because once it
This
foams, once it foams, man, it's weak. It gets weak.
Yeah,
It'll crack your wood too.
yeah, it's pretty powerful, that stuff, isn't it?
It is.
I got this stuff works pretty good.
Yeah, I got some of that too, and that's almost when it dries, it's almost like a rubber.
Yeah, and you got this stuff too, but this is like
That's stuff I like right there. That's I love epoxy.
no, you don't. Never.
I do like epoxy. It's got you can depend on a good epoxy glue. You know what I mean? For the most part. I mean, as long as you ain't doing something crazy, like I don't know, turning a 100-foot pen or something.
Gorilla
Just
Glue epoxy.
You just have
The
to put the pen in there somewhere.
The Gorilla Glue epoxy is the only epoxy I really, really like. I keep a couple of them really handy. And the neat thing is that they can freeze and they last longer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, until you open it.
That's good
Once
to know.
you open it, then it's different.
Yeah, I generally I will buy the cheap epoxy from Harbor Freight, but that's because that's the only time I really use epoxy too much is when I'm making ferro rods, and we use epoxy to glue the ferro rod into the handle.
Wow.
So, and it doesn't have to be very strong, so it just got to be strong enough to hold the ferro rod in there.
Well, I used to enjoy going to Harbor Freight, but it's been a year and a half since I've gone. Only because I had my car stolen and I can't get around anymore, and I can't get. The car was stolen from a storage unit, and I didn't know it, and it was found in Kentucky in a car accident, a hit and run. And
That's terrible.
they didn't know who the driver was, so they traced and they thought it was me. Except politely, I was the wrong color for the driver.
Yeah, it's too
So
bad.
they, but it totaled it. And it was a classic '02 Malibu Deluxe.
I don't
Can't get
care what
any-
color. I don't care what color you are. If you have to steal somebody's stuff, you're scum.
Yep.
Yep.
I'll be back in a second.
But I've had the car since I bought it, and on what I get from a pension, I can't afford a car. I have a hard time affording rent.
I hear you. I work at a fixed income too, Dr. Bob, so I know what you're talking about, buddy.
It's hard to live on $750 a month.
It is. It is.
In the winter, it's rough because I got to buy propane all the time to heat the garage.
That's even worse. Propane.
But I'd rather have that than So I use propane and I skip lunch a lot.
Hey, Dark,
Yes, sir.
I got a present for you. You mentioned pens one more time.
Is that a binky for a really big baby?
Yes,
Oh
or it may go in another orifice.
my!
Yeah,
I'll be good. I'll be
that'll
good.
stop constipation.
We're all done with the pet jokes.
And you have a leather thong on it? Is that for hanging it around your neck so you don't lose it? Or is it a keychain holder?
No, it's actually just a string, but it was for. I turned up a bigger one than this. I had one that was a foot in diameter, and it was the. If anybody ever in our club spat the dummy or did their lolly, they were awarded the Dummy Spit Award, which was duly engraved with their name. So.
So to have my name on it a lot then?
No.
That's why it's got to be so big.
And they had to wear it for the meeting.
Oh. I'm pleased that we're able to get Jeff to our meeting. He's talked about it and texted me today, and he says, I will make it tonight.
Oh, that's good.
Well, them two gentlemen you brought in tonight were nice fellows.
Well,
I've only ever met.
Paul is the equivalent, what the AAW is here. He's the equivalent president of the British version. So he's pretty high up on the wood turning totem pole in Great Britain. And he just thinks what we have going here is fantastic. And he stays up late. It's early morning, 3 in the morning when he logged off. Because we have a good time, and it's like visiting each other's shop.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. I don't know if you would know or not. Maybe Dr. Bob would. I've been thinking about if this turns out the way I want it to, because it's pretty rough right now, but once I get it all sanded and all the detail I want put into it, I've been thinking about taking a picture of it and submitting it to a magazine. What magazine would you suggest to try to, because I'd love to get something of mine in a magazine or something like that.
There is some magazine just for wood carvers.
Yeah, I looked online. There was one, but the last time they had posted anything was like 2 years ago. So I don't even know if they're still in publishing or, if they're still publishing or not.
I don't know, honestly. I've not done any carving. Not in a long, long time.
No, neither have I. And I know in Australia, I don't think there's not actually a big following for carving in Australia. There's a lot of people do it. But good day, Endel. How are you? So I can't help you from an Australian aspect, I'm afraid, Dark.
Oh, that's fine. I was just curious if maybe you'd know.
Yeah, there used to be one that I used to get years ago, and it was something carver, but I haven't seen it in quite a while.
You could try fine woodworking, I think, because they cover all aspects of woodworking, not just turning or one specific thing. So
okay, I'll check into that because man, that would be just something else for me. I'm not. It don't take much to make me happy, but I'd love to get something published.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Endel, I can't work out what you're saying there. We're all English speaking here.
Yeah, I couldn't make that out either, to be honest with you. No
I
offense
could
or
do,
nothing.
I could do Google Translate, but it doesn't always translate the right words, you know.
No, it don't. Makes me laugh because I used to play this video game on Facebook. It was called War Commander, and I would jump into these other sectors of people playing, and sometimes they would be Kurds and things like that, and I'd start talking to them in one language, and I go to Google Translate and I type out what I wanted to say and then put it into Chinese or some other language and put that in chat. And oh man, it just drives them crazy. Cause
So it's not only here you stir then, Dark. I'm glad you're consistent.
yes, yeah. Well, you know, I'm fairly good at it, so
Why give up something you're good at, right?
exactly. You know, why change a good thing?
Yeah. Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I know what you mean about that. I've had people leave me comments, and then I'll take it over to Google Translate, and it made more sense before you translated it.
Mm.
Ugh, cat wanted out. Well, I tell you what, Robo. After I carve this, I probably won't carve nothing again for a long time. It's coming along though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking nice. Very nice.
And you're going to separate the leaf off of the stem, are you?
Yeah, I am, but right now I'm leaving it attached because it's stronger that way.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I don't
What about
wanna,
are you gonna paint it red or white?
No, I'm not painting it, man. I'm anti.
Sorry, I didn't mean to abuse you. Sorry.
I'm,
I'm sorry.
you hurt my snowflake feelings when you talk like that.
Oh, you should not have said that to me, Dark. From now on, I'm going to send you paint.
Yeah, I did think about it. I thought about doing with alcohol colors.
Yeah.
I was contemplating just getting some colored markers and ripping the insides of them out.
Yeah.
And soaking them in denatured alcohol and doing it that way, but then I got to worrying about bleed over.
Yeah, that's always a worry. Acrylic, like, I'm not being smart here, but acrylic paints would work. If you've got like my wife is an excellent artist, funnily enough, like for folk painting or toll painting or whatever you want to call it. And she would make that spring alive, you know.
Well, I have acrylic paints, and I'm a fairly good painter. You know, it hurts to paint a pretty piece of wood. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean, which is why I don't do a lot of it. But I think something like that possibly needs a little bit of highlight just in a paint to bring out the high points of it.
Now you're swearing at Dark. I suppose he does enough.
No, I know I know exactly what he's saying because I've thought the same thing. But at the same time, you know, that's do I ruin it if I do that? You know, is it going to ruin it?
Well, there's two styles of painting. One that I have used is to be able to basically show the shadows. And that's it.
Like an antiquing.
Well, you're showing the shadow of the piece of wood, to show depth and stuff like that in it. And it's very light and it's a shadow, as if the light is hitting it from a certain viewpoint. And then that makes the pieces stand out better. But if you go painting them, then the problem I have is you lose depth perception often between them. And by just emphasizing a shadow line here and there, because that's all I do when I do anything, is emphasize a shadow line or create a shadow line or take a rasp and create something that'll cause a shadow.
Well, I see a lot of the wood turners painting now lately, and it's fine because a lot of it's really pretty. I'm not trying to take nothing away from them, and I'm just saying that it's almost like taking a piece of gold and painting it with cheap silver paint.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's where I'm at with this. I mean, this is a really, really pretty piece of cherry wood, and by painting it, it's almost like devaluing it in my mind. But then again, at the same time, if you don't paint it, it don't look real. So,
well, think of just using highlights to create shadows. All you're doing is adding the shadow as if a light was shining on it from a certain angle. And the easiest way to look at that, at least I'd think it, use a flashlight and hold up to it and then rotate it slowly to see where the shadow is and move the light around to give you an idea of making something just a little deeper or stand out a little more texture. But all you're doing is adding a very, very light tint of black or light brown to create a shadow. And that'll emphasize the carvings more than paint. That's what you use when you do theater work, and Robo can tell you that. Shadows create depth. That's how you get a lot of depth in scenery.
All right, I'm going to knock it on the head in a minute. I've had my 10-minute food warning.
All right. Been a very entertaining day today.
Yeah, yes. Something different.
Oh, it's always fun hanging out with you guys. So
this is the most we've had at one time.
I look forward to it when I can catch you.
You're interesting, Doc. I'll give you that much, right? You constantly give people shit. I like that.
Life's too short not to.
Exactly.
Well, that's right. Yeah. As long as you pick your targets.
Catch you all tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Bob.
Yeah,
all right.
It's almost 1 a.m. here, so.
See you later, Doc.
Get up for school.
Night, Robo. Night, Dr. Bob. Night, Jay.
Night.
Thanks for having me up here.
Night, Chris.